Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 157 of the ReelTok Podcast. Today, I am joined by my lovely co-host, Tyler and Seth. George, I believe, is out and about. Honestly, don't know what he's doing. I don't think he's traveling or anything, but can't be here today. I think he's got some friends in town. As always, we love him, miss him, but exciting episode today. We've got the Conjuring Last Rites review. We've got Highest to Lowest from Spike Lee, the High and Low remake, starring Denzel Washington. We'll probably do a Conjuring universe ranking, even though I'm guessing Seth has seen the most from that franchise.
I think I've seen all of them, I think.
Okay. See, I've only seen the Conjurings and the Nuns, so...
that's still most of them, isn't it? There's only Annabelle.
There's
Annabelle.
Three Annabelles or two Annabelles? 3 or 2, I don't remember.
So... We'll rank that franchise. As always, we'll have some news, trailers, among other things. There was a bunch of festivals this week, so we got some festival reactions. We'll check that out. But otherwise, executive producers, as always, thank you so much for supporting this pod. Thank you for being very supportive, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Shout out Stefan Johnson and Cole Beaver. We couldn't do this without you. Thank you to all the Patreon members in general. We couldn't do it without any of you. And then thank you to everyone who subscribes to the YouTube, subscribes to the Spotify, rates us 5 stars, all of that. We really, really appreciate the support as always. We're at like 9.85K, something like that around
8.7.
there. 8.7 now. Wonderful. Go subscribe to the YouTube if you have not already. Nearly at 10K. Honestly, you can always do more. We could always push for it more, but I think we're doing pretty well. So thank you everyone for your support, and go subscribe to the YouTube if you have not already. But otherwise, we'll get into the bulk of the episode. How are we? What have we been watching? Tyler, we'll start with you.
Yeah, been good. My life is insanely busy right now. So this week I was traveling. I was in Louisville for a couple days, Cincinnati for a day. So that's always busy. And then tomorrow I've turned right back around and I'm headed out to Boston for a few days. But yeah, it's a lot of travel, and I have even more travel booked still for the rest of this month alone. So it's going to be a lot of travel in my life, but work's just really busy. And then college football being back up. Like yesterday, I posted 11 TikToks to backseat coach. Like it was just that kind of day in college football where there was just so much mayhem and there's just so much to talk about. So yeah, just been super busy with social media. Been super busy with my day job, and it's not going to go away anytime soon. But I'm managing. But yeah, lots of travel coming up.
How's the new house?
New house is really good. We're not fully set up yet. I'd say we're like at the 80% mark. I mean, we still have some big things like the couch for the living room still has to come in. We still have to get a TV for the living room, our dining room table, Riley's room, a couple things, because we have a 4-bedroom now. So we have obviously our master bedroom. And then my office, which I'm in right now, is like my room. And then we have a guest bedroom that's just like only for guests. Then we have like our extra bedroom is like Riley's bedroom, where it's just like a crafting table or PS5, just a bunch of other stuff. So it's really nice. We got a lot of space. I'm really enjoying it. Got a lot of like yard work we have to do just because like our yard is not in a great shape, and we have to like get new grass in like our backyard and front yard because it's like completely destroyed. But we kind of have to wait like another month still to get that, just because summer is not a great time to like put in new sod. But that's kind of like the big thing. We just want to really get out of the hurdle, because it's just like basically like a dirt yard at this point, where like anytime it rains, which is a lot more often here than in Arizona, dogs just get insanely dirty and just get everything muddy, and I'm ready for that to be done. But yeah, house is super nice. Enjoying it a lot. Enjoying living in Texas for sure. Enjoying being back in the central time zone. Really like it. But yeah, other than that, just been a busy week of travel. This upcoming week will be too. Excited to go to Boston. I potentially might be getting dinner with Owen, so that'd be really fun to meet him, talk with him, and then next weekend I'll be going to a Texas Longhorns game. So my very first one. Excited for that. They play like UTEP, I think, so it should be a slaughter. But will be fun to see Arch Manning in the flesh. But yeah, football yesterday was crazy. Lots of upsets. Wisconsin's 2-0, Purdue's 2-0. Shout out. But yeah, like Florida losing was crazy. Kansas State is garbage and loses. Lots of craziness. Clemson down like 16-3 at half to Troy. lot of wildness going on college football. And then obviously NFL is starting up today, like in just a few hours. We'll be watching, 7 hours of some commercial football on Red Zone, which is
doing the playthrough is better. I almost ran down to the ESPN headquarters myself, but doing the playthrough is better. But still can't believe the 2 minutes of commercials that we're getting.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I love how they sold it as like you have 7 hours of football and it's only 2 minutes across 7 hours. Like, yeah, but it was 7 hours.
But it was 7 hours to none, and that was the joy of it.
Yeah, and next year you're gonna be like, oh, we'll bump it up to 3 minutes. It's only 3 minutes over 7 hours, and before you know it, it's gonna be full-fledged, just full commercials. So just another example of Disney just ruining everything. They acquire something and just run it into the ground. Excited for football today. The football we've gotten so far Thursday was the Eagles Cowboys. That game was very silly. Those teams just absolutely hate each other. The spit gate. Friday night Chiefs Chargers. That was a fine game. I don't know. I think I'm using all my fantasy football luck way too early because my two biggest leagues I was facing Xavier Worthy in both of them, so he just drops a 0 and he's projected 17. So a little too early in the season to be wasting fantasy luck with the gods like that. So hopefully I can keep it up. But what I've been watching is not a lot at all. Like since August 15th, I've vlogged 4 films. So I covered most of the stuff in my catch up last week when I was back. But the only other thing I watched other than Highest to Lowest, which Cam and I are going to review later, is Old School, which is a early Todd Phillips film, which I thought was more popular than it was, like in terms of just like Will Ferrell, Jason Schwartzman, Vince Vaughn. And like, I feel like I hear people talk about it, but then my mutuals didn't have as many mutuals logging it as I expected. But I really kind of hated this movie. Honestly, I don't really know what I was expecting. I feel like this didn't even seem like, have either of you seen Old School? Let me see.
I actually don't mind it. Well,
maybe a long time ago. I'm
Seth George.
I like Will Ferrell.
Okay, Cam doesn't have it logged, but
yeah,
I don't know. I really don't like it. I mean, obviously, like any 2000s movie, like there's gonna be a lot of comedy that just doesn't age well. Like a big punchline of the whole movie is that like Jason Schwartzman like slept with the high schooler, and it's just like a funny joke. And like there's literally no like weirdness about it. But that's like not what bothered me. What bothered me is like it just didn't even feel like a movie. It's like an hour and 20 minutes long, and it's like the story is like they build it, like he buys a house after like getting cheated on, and he like it becomes like zoned to be a fraternity, and the whole movie is like this old guy from high school that used to bully is now the dean of this school, so he's trying to get them kicked off the campus, whereas they're trying to make this like fraternity super fun and relive their college glory days. And it's just like bizarre because like it's just the plot. I don't even know why it's there, because it's like all of a sudden the very end of the movie, like most of the movie is like Jason Schwartzman trying to get this girl, and then all of a sudden the end of the movie is like, oh yeah, we forgot about like this fraternity we have, so we have to like participate in some like athletic decathlon in order to like win enough points, and if you like win enough points in the school like athletic competition, you get to keep your fraternity. It's just like it almost seemed like a collection of sketches as opposed to a full film, and I just didn't care for it. But all the funniest stuff in the movie and the funniest gags were like clearly you could tell they were like nuggets that Todd Phillips was experimenting with, that like The Hangover just knocks out of the park. Like there's so many things in here I'm like, oh yeah, I can totally see where he took this idea in The Hangover, and it's like The Hangover just kills it. So maybe if I saw this before The Hangover from Todd Phillips, I might like it a little more. But it's just everything about this movie that I ended up liking. I was like, he just does so much better later in his career. But I mean, I always love Will Ferrell and Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn's just always a funny guy to me. It's just, I mean, he's obviously a great looking dude, but it's just every time I watch a Vince Vaughn movie, I just think like, how is he just like chosen to be like the stud heartthrob and all these like rom-coms from like, or more comedies from like the 2000s. Like obviously him and Owen Wilson partner up a ton, and Owen Wilson's always supposed to be like the dorky kind of loser of the bunch, and he's like this suave dude that gets all the ladies. And every time I look at him, I just laugh. I'm like, how is this the guy that like Hollywood chose for 10 years to be like sleeping with any woman he wants and just like the coolest guy in town, Mr. Vince Vaughn. But other than that, just Highest to Lowest, which I watched last night after football. Again, football was so packed yesterday, but the end of the day was kind of a stinker. Michigan and Oklahoma was kind of a lame game for sure. It was like a little close in the box score, but I feel like it was a little deceiving. I feel like Oklahoma just let up like 2 big plays, and that's kind of really all Michigan did the whole game. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. Again, leave tomorrow for Boston, so busy times, but yeah.
All right, Seth, how have you been? What have you been watching?
Hello, I am getting ill.
Hey,
I know. You know when you get like a sore throat and you get a bit achy?
you know it's
Yeah,
coming.
this is
Mhm.
through right now. I know what it is. I was at me and Anna visited my grandma like, for a few days. I got back yesterday and I went for like a run on Friday and it was really sunny when I went. So obviously, shorts, t-shirt. Midway, it just starts absolutely like hammering rain, like crazy. And I still had like 20 minutes, like 15 minutes to get back. So that's why, and that's why I'm getting ill for sure. But I've been fine. Like I've had a pretty busy week. I went to I texted in the group chat Cam's like worst fear on Wednesday. I went to like a Conjuring experience.
Yeah, sounds
So
horrifying.
Tyler, you've seen the first Conjuring, yeah?
Yeah, I don't really like it.
So they have like in their house they have like a room, like a basement room, which is like dedicated to like everything they found, like all the
Mhm.
cursed items and shit.
Yeah.
It was essentially like a one-of-one replica of that. We got sent in, and there was like actors there,
I
and
would
it
have
was the classic things
I
where
would
like
have
the
got
light.
through.
It was actually fun, but the lights would go off, things would get thrown around, whatever, and it was
I
like,
would've got
okay, this is not very scary. But they took us into another room, and okay, Cam, the guy, and this isn't really a spoiler. You know the guy in the new Conjuring, the really tall guy with the axe, the long
Yeah.
hair.
Yeah.
So one moment the lights fully black out, and we're in this room. There's like 6 of us, and there's 2 actors who play like the priests and whatever. And the lights go on, and behind me, directly behind me, like this far away, is the guy, like 7 foot tall guy with an axe with long hair and a white face.
Yeah,
That
terrifying.
fucking scared me a little bit.
Terrifying.
And then like there was a painting of the nun, which is
Yep.
in there, and the nun's face came out of the painting. So I know you would have
Don't like
appreciated.
that.
I thought
Every
of you with that.
time, not to get into the review, but every time the nun popped up, and like she's not in the new movie, but they
Yeah,
walk
she's
through
always
that
like, yeah,
room, and so you see the picture in the background every once
that
in a
was
while.
it. Yeah,
Every
that's
time
cool.
you see that picture, I was nope, turning
Yeah,
red.
it was quite fun. But obviously watched the film as well, and then it's kind of it. I was meant to have a really packed week this week, but I don't think I'm going to. I think it's just been more work wise. I haven't watched a massive amount because, like I said, I've been away for a few days. What have I watched? I watched Dune, as in like Lynch's Dune. I haven't seen it in a few years. It's fine.
Less hell
It's
yeah, but still hell yeah.
it's weird. It's like I get it. Lynch. It's kind of commendable how abstract it was. For the weirdness of the material and kind of sticking to that. But trying to fit it all in one very odd film. I watched a film called All That Heaven Allows. I watched The Funeral, which is a Christopher Walken led film. It's an Abel Ferrara who I've been getting into recently. Love that. Watched Oslo August 31st. I'm going to rewatch a lot of his films in preparation for Sentimental Value. Yeah, the new one, which I'm going to try. I think it's a London Film Festival. Tickets come out this week, so I'm going to try my absolute best to get some good films for that, but I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to get just yet. And then I also rewatched the first Conjuring because I hadn't seen it in a while, and it's like the pinnacle of that 2010s possession era horror, in that it actually is scary and it retains that. And
Really,
it's
yeah.
so when it's kind of very by the book in terms of like the formula, but it still manages to scare you, which is like so impressive in itself. And also, it's really good. Like it's just a really like James Wan. Probably my favorite of his, I'm gonna say that or Saw or the first Saw. But yeah,
Or
really
Aquaman.
enjoyed it. I haven't seen it.
Really?
Yeah, maybe I should watch. I've been
Even the
meaning to watch
first
it for a
one?
while. Yeah, I've never seen it.
Interesting. It's actually not bad. It's good.
I know my friend's average is actually like really high compared to the average rating. But yeah, that's kind of all I watched this week. Didn't have much time for much as I was going to watch The Highest Lows this morning, but I got up a bit late and then I had to do some stuff around the house. So I'm going to watch that this week definitely because I do actually want to watch it maybe tomorrow and then I'll give my thoughts on next week's episode. But yeah, that's kind of it for me this week.
Alrighty. Myself, not a whole lot. I went up to Purdue yesterday. Not necessarily for the game, but more so to tailgate, and then went to Harry's Chocolate Shop, which is
What's tailgate again?
like you go up before the game and just kind of hang around, drink, play some cornhole.
Is that when they're all like
games?
the cars apart? They're all at the back of the boot of
Yeah.
the car. Okay, is that what it means? Okay.
It's exactly that. So I saw a bunch of old friends from Purdue. All my old roommates and such. So that was a good time. Emma and I we parked at like my old fraternity house, and then walked to the tailgate. So we walked through the entire campus, and Emma and I at one point got asked if we wanted to join a robotics club. And so, that had us feeling good at 26 years old. We were like, we're back, baby. We're in. They think we're young. So, that had us feeling good.
What's a robotics club?
Just a club for robots, I assume. I have no idea. I'm assuming they like build little robots and such. I have no idea. I didn't join the club, Seth.
I thought you meant like a robot dance. I was like, oh, that's fun.
No.
That would have been crazy. A little
Like robot dance. I truly have no idea, but all I know is Emma and I were riding high after that. We were like, yeah, we're in. We're ready. But it was nice to be back on campus. I really love Purdue. Based on obviously because just a big fan of them, but it was good to see friends. So that was kind of like the big event of the week. When every Tuesday in my town is a farmer's market, we went to the farmer's market this week. Had Monday off, which was nice. But other than that, not a ton going on this week. Just kind of like when you have an event on Saturday, so like Friday, you got to make sure you get everything painted or not painted. Sorry. You got to make sure you get everything cleaned up by Friday. And so I spent like the week cleaning the house. We got shelves up. I think I was saying that last week. We were putting shelves up. We got those up and all they're all stained and everything. So that's nice. Hopefully you get the backsplash of our kitchen tiled today, and that kind of officially like finishes our kitchen. Those are the big things in there. We're shelves and tiling. So excited about that. Otherwise, not a whole lot going on. And like you all, I didn't watch a ton of movies. This week I watched Meet the Robinsons last Sunday.
What a film.
Kind of wanted to show. I guess Emma's a big fan of the Dancing Frogs, and her friends were over, or I guess our friends were over on Sunday while we were staying in the cabinet or the shelves, and they basically were like talking about Meet the Robinsons, and then we just kind of turned it on.
So good.
Watched it. Yeah, fun movie.
I like Goob.
Shout out Goob. Breaks all the laws of time travel, like people meeting themselves and all of that sort of thing. But that's all right. I liked Meet the Robinsons. I watched Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox, and then Justice League: Crisis on Two Earths. So just some random animated like DC films. And then I watched The Conjuring, Last Rites, and then also Highest to Lowest this week, which we'll talk here shortly.
What was the
surprised you went? Sorry, Kelly, go on.
I was gonna say, what was the final reaction to the like you finished your like greatest superhero movies of all time? Like, are people calling you an idiot? People saying you're based.
Locals saying I might know ball.
Oh, nice.
Oh, really? Interesting.
I think for the most part they were semi-positive like comments of like I don't get it. Did not go uber viral to where like just you will get a bunch of comments from like random people, right? But like 93 comments, majority. I mean, fair few were saying it wasn't bad. You get the few that are like, this list sucks, you suck. And I was like, all right, thanks, appreciate it, man.
Are you
bad list Super L? That's a comment,
Cam, did you go to Conjuring with Emma?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
She's like a big fan, right? Isn't that the whole reason you've ever seen any of them?
I watched the first one with her. I'm a big fan of the.
Would you have gone to see it without Emma? You think?
I would not have gone to the theater without Emma.
Would you have F2 movied it without Emma?
I may have F2 movied it without Emma.
There's interest there, but not
where.
That's why I was surprised.
In a room that Emma would also be in. Like that was kind of the caveat. Like I could not go see that movie alone. I mean, I only saw about 20% of the movie because I was watching it like this the entire time, and maybe a little bit like that. And that brings me to my next point of not enough scaredy cats in the world anymore. Everyone there was a woman there with an Annabelle doll. There's people there with like Conjuring shirts. We should be afraid of this shit. All right. we should be sitting in our seats, like cowering a little bit. That's how you should watch a horror movie.
We'll get on to this interview. I have a take about this, but I'll say
people are not scared enough anymore. Like there's people sitting there watching, laughing at some parts, and I'm like, all right, there's no time to be joking, everyone.
Case in point, Matt Rife, like buying the estate of like Ed and Lorraine Warren, like
not right,
now owning all their artifacts, like that.
Can't do that.
I don't care how big of a fan you are. I just feel like that's just asking for something.
Possession.
Even if you don't believe in the slightest in any of that, like you still tempt and fade a bit there.
Yeah, right. And like, because if they're hunting somewhere, it's there where everything is, and also you don't know how to like control said artifacts just in case, you know.
You don't know Ed and Lorraine's tactics. Have you studied like the ghost be gone strategies?
But yeah, I'm excited to talk the Conjuring Last Rites. I had a good time with it. I think that's what we will move into right away. I do have to do a better job and pull up the synopsis. So Seth and I will talk the Conjuring Last Rites, obviously starring Vera Farmiga, Patrick Wilson. This one has Mia Tomlinson, Ben Hardy, and a couple other
people. James Wan.
Yes, James Wan makes an appearance. This is the Conjuring Endgame. Directed by Michael Chavez, produced by James Wan and Peter Safran. So makes sense that he makes a little bit of an appearance. But The Conjuring Last Rites, the case that ended it all. Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren take on one last terrifying case involving mysterious entities they must confront. So it's basically the Conjuring Endgame a little bit. You get a lot of moments where people come back, but the relative idea of it is Ed and Lorraine are retired. They're living life happily, not necessarily doing any more of their conjuring activities. Their daughter is now dating a man played by Ben Hardy, right? This is him. Yeah. And the whole time I'm thinking, where the hell do I know this guy from? He's one of the He's one of the Bohemian Rhapsodies. He's one of
I said the exact same thing when I was like, where the fuck do I know this?
Couldn't figure it out the entire time, but he's one of the Rhapsodies of Queen. But yeah, so she's dating him. And they're the first hour and a half of this movie is them kind of not doing anything, and this family just getting haunted. So this family
they're just laid back, and then it's like they're all fucking
right.
It is very reminiscent of like every a typical comeback story. Like there's one moment where should we put spoilers on it just in case we're in mid conversation because I don't want to slip out with something. Can you
give your initial thoughts?
Okay.
Quick, just pre-spoilers.
Yeah, cool. So we'll go into what I was going to say in a second, but better than I expected would be like the main thing I would say, given that I was expecting virtually nothing. Because when like George came on last week, he was like, "It's the third best Conjuring movie." I was like, "That could mean fucking anything." Because I think the last one I thought was like bad.
The last one's not good, not great. At least.
I was like, that could mean like it's a 2.5 or a 2, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a mixed bag for me. Like I said in my review, like the first hour really is, and not necessarily in a bad way. It's very schmaltzy, very like sentimental. The whole thing is, it's like built on reflections of the franchise and celebratory, kind of like a weird horror version of almost like Mission Impossible Final Reckoning in a way, of how it's built on them speaking about their successes. The first half is very like been and gone, back end of their, finished their career. You've got this isn't necessarily a spoiler, but you've got like the daughter who's in a happy relationship, and you've got like classic conversational moments between like the dad and the daughter's boyfriend, and it's very like family driven, which they always have been at the core. Like I rewatched the first one last week, and it's actually like a really very family oriented film, and they obviously they always are, especially like the second one as well in London in that household. But it's very like schmaltzy and perhaps to a fault at certain times, in that it is very reflective and a bit sentimental. But I thought it had like I don't know, I thought it was kind of charming, to be honest. I thought it was like really charming. And I like what the Conjuring universe do when they kind of go back and forth, especially in the first half, like you just said, when there are moments when it's like happy as Larry and whatever, and they're going through their whole thing, and then it'll cut back quickly to this family, like it did in like the second film and the first film, and they're in real terror. And I like that kind of cutting back and forth and being like the contrast between the two. It didn't like swing as much as I wanted it to be. Like it kind of does play out exactly as you expect. And for me, the actually weakest part was the final act, which
I agree. I was going to say that exact thing.
Didn't love. Like, it gets
All
a bit
flat.
muddled. Yeah, it gets a bit muddled and like kind of slapped together. And it's like, whatever. Which, funny enough, I would say the same about the second one actually, which I need to rewatch as well. But I think I said in my review something like, the heart is in its right place. I think I actually like the route it took, and I imagined it to be like very celebratory, very, very reflective, whatever. Even though it's kind of a bit messy. Obviously, I think it goes without saying this sort of screenplay narrative would have been much better if James Wan had come back to direct it, I'm sure. But I don't think what was the director's name again?
Michael Chavez.
Michael Chavez. I don't think he did a particularly bad job. For example, he directed the last film, Devil Made Me Do It, which I didn't like at all, and he also directed The Nun as well, which I also I'm not particularly a fan of. And I think this
got
one
a
was
fun little shot in this movie where it like flies up over the house and then like whips back through the door. I enjoyed that a lot, and I looked over at Emma and I literally was like, I like that a lot.
It was like James Wan.
Me nauseous.
It was like James Wan-esque from the first one. Yeah. The one thing I would say, and this kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier, I actually think this wasn't very scary at all. That was kind of my only issue. I think the jump scares particularly were kind of rubbish for the most part.
So there's one that I thought was really, really good. I mean, obviously, I disagree.
I think I know which one you mean. I will say
that here shortly. Yeah, I disagree because it's the scariest movie I've ever seen in my life. But
isn't this as scary than the first one?
No, I'm kidding. Just every horror movie I watch is the scariest movie I've ever seen.
Maybe it's because the first one's so scary. I just like inherently compare it to that as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's fair.
And the second one.
And I didn't rewatch any of these for that. But I do think it had its moments. I do think the ending falls flat. I agree with you there. I enjoyed this. I agree with you. I do think it's charming, and I think the thing I'll say about The Conjurings that I'm guessing no other horror movie has is that Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga can do no wrong in these.
I completely agree.
In these movies, like
they're always the best thing about the films.
They are so great for sure.
Yeah.
I just love their little group and their little family. I think they're just really, really wonderful as these characters. So I enjoy them obviously a lot. I had a good time with it. As much of a good time as I could with a horror movie. I'm not kidding when I say I watched like 90% of this movie like this. That's how I watch horror movies. And if it's what we're going to do to get through them, it's what we're going to do to get through them.
Was it
a couple
busy?
Jump scares. Huh?
Was it busy? Like a busy screening?
Not super. Like it was pretty full, but not like our row. We had 3 spots in between each person, or 2 spots, and
surprising.
It wasn't too bad, but it wasn't empty. Like I said, people diehard fans there bringing an Annabelle doll. Heck off with that. I don't.
That's kind of crazy. Bringing one with
whack. Yeah, don't be doing that. Oh, well. But yeah, had a fun time with it. Gave it a 65 out of 100. It's a 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it.
3.5, I assume. Is that like just the cusp of 65?
Yeah, that's a low 3.5. But I
give it a 3 if I'd say that actually.
I enjoyed the watch. Definitely better than the third. I think I like the first 2 better than this, but I still had a good time with it. The trying to think the main. I'm trying to find like who the main woman who gets haunted.
Her name?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find the actress name.
Is it Rebecca?
Is it Rebecca Calder? I don't know. I looked at the picture. No, I thought it was this Bo Gadson. Bo Gadson. I thought she was really good.
No, it is the kid.
Yeah, she's the kid that gets haunted. I thought she was really good. Kind of the little bit of the daughter of Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga is kind of the heart of this movie, but the heart of that family was this Bo Gadson, and I really liked everyone in this movie, to be honest with you.
They do kind of like the country films have like historically very, very good performances. Like you said, I think Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson are like great in every single one of them, and that's something you can't say. And I think they clearly we've seen this, Kevin. When like a franchise on its last legs, and you can tell the actors are kind of like phoning it in.
Yeah,
that is not the case here whatsoever. Like they care deeply about Patrick Wilson with Insidious, with this cares deeply about kind of the efforts they put in and the legacy they've kind of created with it as well. One thing I'll say, what you kind of briefly touched on, with the girl the house that gets haunted. I think one of the most impressive things again is the contrast between the two. How it's all like always like bright and sunny in Wilson's house when they're the scenes they're in when, for example, they have like the barbecue and playing table tennis, whatever.
Yeah,
cuts back and there's like this really like grim, dark aesthetic. It reminded me of the second Conjuring film. When they first go to the house, it's really like dark, gloomy. Even the living room is very like when they're having dinner around. There's not many lights on. It's just the family communicating, and something will go wrong. I think they do that really, really well here. Like I love the setters, I love the sets, I love the back and forth house. I think they always set it up like in the, I guess, scariest way possible. Oh, that reminds me, before we forget, actually hit spoilers for this because this is a spoiler if you can.
That's Tyler. Tyler.
Oh, hi Tyler, if you're there.
Around, I'll text him. But we'll call it spoilers. We'll call spoilers right here.
Someone's gonna say something. I'm scared.
Hit spoilers. T-Dog. But we'll call spoilers right here, Seth. You can
okay. Well, I'll go on my small spoiler first before I ask a question, just in case like I don't want to ruin the main, because I was going to ask you about the jump scare. One thing I do find funny, and this is like a typical thing that always happens in regards to like kind of comeback stories of when someone's been through like this legacy and then they're retired. It always has that typical moment of, when the priest comes to the house, he's like, this family's haunted, and then Patrick Wilson's like, oh, where are they? And then Vera Farmiga's like, no, we're retired. And it has that kind of typical thing. And then that comes back to bite them, because I think one of the best scenes in the film for me, I don't know if you would agree, is when he goes to see in the church. Who does he go and see? What's the name of it?
The parishioner, the bishop.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then he goes to the reception and kind of says he his theme, whatever, about this particular case, about this family. One thing I loved is how they always do the kind of isolated moments so well, because it just goes like that, doesn't it? One moment he's looking in another direction, then he turns back, the receptionist is gone. That we see that kind of like the plug and the was it like from a vacuum or soming?
You didn't see what it was. You
just not see
the rope, I think, or
like a wire like attached to a plug, whatever. See that kind of getting pulled, and then quickly, suddenly, we go from him in this really dark area, kind of the darkness closing in. We can see there's like a shadowy presence opening the door, come towards him. Next thing you know, he's hanged off a like stairwell or whatever you'd call it. I think that's one of my favorite sequences. I think that was kind of one of the only moments where I felt truly uneasy, and I think they really, throughout the Conjuring films, they've really done well in those like singular, isolated sequences where someone feels like truly alone. Because you can imagine, like, in that scenario, in that setting, feeling truly alone with this massive doorway next to you on both sides.
Yep.
That's fucking terrifying. Do you know what I mean?
I'm with you. I like that sequence. I liked like right before it, where he's like throwing the holy water around the house, and it's obviously like steaming up because like bad presence in the house. And then he kind of like sprints out of that house. I like that, because like if a priest ever came to my house that I think's haunted and then just sprints out like that, I'm like, I'm gone.
It is amazing how long they stay in these houses, by the way.
Yeah, it's a classic, like, have no money to go anywhere else. I get that. I understand that.
But fuck that.
You gotta figure something out, because I don't know. I don't know how you're staying in this house. People are,
especially like when the scene, I can't remember where it is in the timeline, but they still stay in the house after that scene when the daughter starts like throwing up glass and blood.
Yeah.
And it's like at that point, like we're thinking, she almost died from throwing up glass and blood everywhere. Probably move. Cool scene as well, how it kind of came out,
I think that one, the best in I think it's the first jump scare in the house. The best jump scare, in my opinion, is the Sally baby that's like walking around, right, and the little girl's playing with it, and it walks to the other room and like looks in the mirror, and then you see it float, and you pan back to it, and
it's the person holding it.
Yeah, I thought it was like I could be wrong. I thought they panned to it once and you see it, and then you pan to the mirror, and I thought you'd see it in the mirror. Then they pan back and it's the grandma holding it. Whatever. It's kind of it doesn't necessarily matter, but I think that one for sure was what. I mean, that hit. That got me good.
Have you seen Insidious, the first one? I think you have, haven't you?
No, I have not seen the Insidious movies.
That's very surprising because they're so like, you know, I mean, it was such a cultural thing like, around the same time. James Wan, whatever. There's a jump scare in that. You've probably seen. Have you ever seen that image with Patrick Wilson's face and then behind him is like a devil face?
Yes. Yes.
Very, very similar setup to that jump scare, and I think that's what Conjuring does quite well. Even though I actually don't think the jump scares were great in this, but there were a couple that still made me like jump.
I thought that one was really good. I don't think they were all perfect. Like the when she's shopping for wedding dresses, the daughter.
Cool scene, actually.
Really, I liked it. I didn't love it, but like I like that like setting that she's in of the mirrors everywhere. That's a
yeah. The jump itself,
ass room, but
yeah, exactly. The jump itself not great, but again, it's like it's similar to what I said about the priest getting stuck in that room. It's like one of the worst places you could be isolated in, just a room with like eternal mirrors and like reflections, and you're stuck there unable to get out, and it all goes dark, and suddenly there's no one there anymore. And then someone comes in, like she thinks it's like the dress fitter or whatever, starts grabbing a leg. That's what I think they do really well. Not the jump so much, but like just I think they're very good at selection based. Obviously, we haven't said that.
Yeah.
One of the main parts of this is basically the guy has been with the girl like 6 months but wants to propose.
Yeah.
He gets the blessing, whatever. So they're getting married. She's trying the dress on, and then she gets stuck in this room, and she thinks it's the dressmaker come back in, but it's actually
the grandma.
Grandma, whatever. Yeah. But I just like the settings they choose for the scary moments. Do you know what I mean? Because I think it's just a cool, like, imagine just being stuck in there, seeing yourself ever seeing reflections, and suddenly it's something completely different to what you were expecting at the time. Yeah. But I think after that, when I don't know why, like I've always thought this about the Conjuring films, the same with the Insidious. Apart from one, which I think they do really well, the climax just was so messy.
Yeah, no, I think the last third of this movie wasn't great. First off, anytime you get a person crawling on the floor on anything, I hate it. Least favorite part of any like horror movie. Hate anyone crawling like that. I think
for sure.
Mia Tomlinson, like when she is possessed and like going through the house and like she looks creepy. I think they did really well with her.
True.
But then like the true final act is like she's kind of snapped out of this possession, and now like the mirrors attacking them. Is that kind of what you're talking, or do you mean the whole sequence in general?
I mean, I didn't. I actually don't. Yeah, I don't disagree. I think that those parts when she's like possessed, it is kind of creepy in itself. But
yeah, I think she's really good. So I think
that is true.
That worked.
And I think that's like could be said for any of them. I think they like the performances will always elevate it. And I like the use of mirrors. I think it's just a cool thing, and the reflection based stuff. And I think that's just a cool thing within the Conjuring world itself. But I don't know, like it just felt like a bit all over the place for me. And it was the same thing could be said for the last one, actually, too, in my opinion, where they almost go too hyper ridiculous, where it kind of surpasses the scare for me. Mm-hmm. Other than the first one, which I think goes into like this ridiculously silly mess that I love. But I don't know, it didn't come together that well. I think again, understand the method behind it, and I actually like the final moment, the final what is it, like 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Is the most like schmaltzy shit ever. Like it's
where the mirror is like attacking them, and then they like
no, I mean like after that, the final sequence, the like happy,
the wedding,
yeah.
Where so correct me if I'm wrong. You've seen Haunting of Hill House, right?
Yeah, but not for a few years.
The kid that plays Luke, I think, is like the little boy that plays Luke. I think is in this movie, like at the very end. Yeah, Julian Hillard. Why is he there? He pops up in the was he in the last one?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't remember the last one. I guess he was in the last one. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. But I was so confused why he popped up.
Oh yeah, it is. Of course it is. Yeah.
But and then James Wan pops up at the wedding.
I kind of love that. It is like you said, like this Conjuring Endgame moment.
Dude, I kind of loved that. And then like their friend, the guy who gets haunted. Well, I gotta find. Is he Elliot Cadeau? No. Shannon Cook.
Who is that?
I don't know. I have no clue. Oh. He's in all 4 of these. He plays Drew Thomas, but I have not seen this guy ever, but he's in all 4. I have no clue what he does.
Drew Thomas.
Drew Thomas.
Let me
But
take a look.
he's the only person that's not Vera Farmiga, Patrick Wilson, Mia Tomlinson,
Who's in every film.
the guy who's getting engaged. That's in the
Wedding
garage when they get engaged. And Emma and I are standing there like, what is this guy? Why is this guy just standing in the background watching them get engaged? Like, why is he a part of this scene?
Oh yeah, no, it's he. You do remember him in the first one? You do.
Who is he? Is he the guy who gets haunted, or who is he? Like, what?
No, in the first one. I think let me.
I haven't seen any of these in a while, to be fair.
Let me get this up. In the first one,
like, I don't know who this guy is. But he was the only one in the garage with them when they were getting engaged, and I'm like, why are you here? Right?
No, so in the last one, he's like the cameraman guy who like shoots the ghost.
Oh, is that what he is? Okay,
that's who he is. Yeah,
that makes
like
a little bit more sense. But I was so confused why he was in the garage when they were getting engaged with like the rest of the family.
Yeah, he's the one who comes in like Conjuring when he's got like brown jacket on, like black hair, and he works the cameras and does the like.
I mean, that makes sense. That's just so I was laughing. Like,
it is like a Conjuring Endgame, isn't it? Like everything comes together and there's like sequences of
and it was very much like at the end, just paying the respects to Ed and Lorraine Warren, which I like. They have this being like semi-true or true stories, semi-true, whatever you want to call it. Like, is very fun because they like genuinely like feel like they really love the Warrens and like
the Warrens. Yeah,
they want to give as much respect. So I enjoyed that like last bit. It's very much like hey, look how great these two are. Kind of
I don't like it.
Huh? You don't like it?
No, I do.
No, I agree.
It's kind of charming, you know.
I agree. I think it's very fun and interesting how they do it. You kind of like play through their life a little bit. I thought Patrick Wilson died in this because I knew he died first. I guess I didn't realize they both like made it to like 87 or whatever, or maybe 78 or something.
I think it was like 70, mid 70s. He died, and she died at like 92.
92, yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed that. Did you watch Deadpool and Wolverine?
No.
They do like a pay respects to the like Fox X-Men universe at the end, like they play montage of it, and that was basically what they did in this one, of like montage of Ed and Lorraine Warren, which was funny. But yeah, I enjoyed The Conjuring: The Last Rites. Are there any other scares? Oh, I want to mention this, that I think the guy with the axe who you were talking about earlier, I think that he was the least scary part, like least scary.
I actually thought he was quite creepy.
Really? No, I thought he like the grandma and then the woman that pops up. Like,
have you seen It Follows?
No.
Damn it.
Sorry.
Have you ever seen the picture in Follows, or like the clip on Twitter that goes around of like the really tall guy who walks into the room?
I'm sure I have. I don't.
Oh, you need to watch It Follows. That's fucking creepy. But there's like it reminded me of that when he's such a presence, and when he's kind of walking towards the camera in that moment, because it's like when she's downstairs in the living room, isn't it? And then she turns around, he's like kind of there seated, starts walking towards her.
Okay.
Kind of creeped him out a little bit, I'll be honest. Surprisingly.
And then also I have a take that I don't think Annabelle is really that scary, but
no, I don't.
Emma was like, okay, then let's watch the movie, and I go, no, I'm not doing that.
Have you not seen any of the Annabelle movies?
No. I respect that she's pretty creepy, but like I think in this movie, like she was the least scary part, like the least scary thing that was haunting them. And then I also didn't love that. So basically the thing that's haunting them is using 3 other demons to like haunt them. Kind of, it was like basically Vera Farmiga's like, I see the 3. It was like a husband who killed his wife and his mother-in-law. And they're all 3 haunting the family. But then like there's a even eviler thing behind them. And then you never really see the eviler thing. I feel like, you know, when the start of the movie, when Vera Farmiga is giving, or no, whoever they cast, shout out them for not using de-aging technology and just recasting them as kids, by the way. But whoever is Lorraine Warren's giving birth at the start, and you see like hands come over and they're kind of creepy, like looking, and you never really see what that thing is. Yeah. So I feel like that was a little weak.
Maybe it's a setup for a new film.
Probably. Probably it's
Probably,
like creepy
yeah.
mirror guy, creepy baby.
They'll
mirror.
rename it, but it'll just be a Conjuring film.
Also, if my grandparents ever got me that mirror, first off, I'd be like, this is something.
Bro,
y'all.
that mirror was horrible.
Horrifying. And also just like, and also it had a crack in it. So it
was horrible. It was a terrible mirror, B, it was horrible to look at anyway.
Yeah, like it wasn't like pretty in any way, and it had a big crack in it, and they were like, "Oh, your grandpa can fix that." And it's like, well, if he got me something that wasn't broken, he doesn't need to fix it. Considering we're already like a very poor family with 8 people, he probably doesn't have time or money to fix a mirror. It wasn't pretty enough. Also, I'd be even more mad if they got me a mirror and it turned out possessed. I'd be like, what the hell? Mind you, the grandparents aren't there for like half the movie because the grandma gets pushed down the stairs by something, and then the grandpa, I think, goes with her. But they didn't even get haunted. They didn't get anything.
They got out like, well, kind of escaped. I mean, she did get pushed down the stairs. But
That's
like,
fair. Right,
you know, like bit of collateral damage.
That's fair. Understandable.
Anything else we want to kind of cover? I'm trying to think if I missed anything. I think we covered like the main.
Yeah, we got most of it. It was a fun movie to watch. Not perfect by any.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to say this. I think it was way too long.
Well, yes, I agree, because like when we were talking earlier, it is the first like hour and a half before they even get to the house, and I understand then you're getting to the climax, but like Ed and Lorraine are just kind of chilling for an hour and a half.
That film could have easily been like an hour 40, an hour 45.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Like even the climax I thought was like too long. I don't know. Like I know the second Conjuring's long. I know the first 2 are long actually, but they're good. I mean, they're really good in the sense. I don't know. I thought it was too long. By the climax, I was like, 2 hours 15. I think for a Conjuring film, I was like,
the first one's an hour. So this is an hour 35. The first one's an hour 12.
No, this is no. You're no.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry.
First one's an hour
35 minutes to 2:15. The first one is 112 minutes. So
152.
Hour 45. Hour 50.
152. Wait, no. This one's 2 hours 15, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then I think the second one's 2 hours 15.
The second one's 2 hours 15. And then the third one is the shortest of them all. It's an hour and 40 or 51 minutes.
Okay, so they're all kind of the range. But this one, I mean, maybe it's more the case that this one just felt a lot longer.
Yeah,
I would argue. Well, actually, the last one felt quite long. But yeah, in general, I don't know. Do you want to do like a quick ranking? I know you're just ranking like 3.
Yeah, my ranking is I should go check this. So last place is The Nun. Second to last place is, I guess I haven't seen the second Nun, so apologies. Last place is The Nun. Second to last place is the third Conjuring. Conjuring Devil is in the courtroom with us today. The third best is this past Conjuring.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go look at my scores then for the top 2. So give me a drum roll. No, never mind, I don't. And then the last one, or the second best, is the Conjuring 2, and the best is the Conjuring 1.
Conjuring 1. Okay, so my last is Annabelle 1.
Really?
Yeah.
People love that one. Of all the Annabelles?
No, that was the bad one, I think. Well, it's got the lowest rating on Letterboxd. I mean, they don't.
Interesting.
Yeah. Then it would be The Nun. Then it'd be The Devil Made Me Do It. Then it'd be The Nun 2, which I thought was like slightly better. Then it would be Annabelle Creation, which is a 3. Then it'd be Annabelle Comes Home, which was also a 3. And then it would be this one, The Last Rites. And then I think like the clear top 2 is Conjuring 2. And then the clear one for me is the first Conjuring. I think that would like the first 2 are just like the best ones, and coincidentally they are directed by James Wan, which helps.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's the Conjuring universe. We'll bring Mr. Tyler back now.
Oh, there's also La Llorona. Apparently that's
never
within
saw that one.
Well, it's got a 1.9 on Letterboxd, so I don't really have great.
Yeah, I think that movie, I believe most people think stink. I'm going to run off to the restroom real quick. I'm going to let you yap, or Tyler can cut this, but I'll be right back.
Oh, I was looking forward to yapping on my own, Tyler. That's crazy.
Oh, go ahead. Let me hear what you got.
I have no idea. I was going to make up some things. Tyler, do you want to give you a Conjuring ranking? 1, The Conjuring.
Yeah, 2. Last place my ranking is going to be The Conjuring 1. First place also Conjuring 1. But
you should watch Conjuring 2 though, if you like Conjuring 1, because it's still James Wan, you know.
And Cam has me terrified of The Nun. Isn't that when The Nun shows up?
It is, but Conjuring 2 has some like real flair to it as well, and there's also like some good comedy. The aesthetic is really, really cool. Like that we were just saying, they're the kind of clear 1 and 2, and then the rest, like the highest of the rest for me is like I have three stars, and then it just kind of goes downhill.
Are those the only 2 that are James Wan?
Yeah, which that's why they're the good ones.
Yeah,
I definitely recommend it.
I still have The Conjuring. The first Conjuring is like one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. If not, like maybe it's not my number 1, but it's one of the scariest I've ever seen.
No, it's one of the scariest films I've ever seen, and I've seen like so many horrors. But I think, like I said before, I think I reviewed it yesterday. Well, I watched it a few days ago. I reviewed it yesterday. I think it just excels with its like jump scares, even though they kind of feel formulaic. I think James Wan kind of manages to subvert where you think a jump scare is going to be, hit you in the face, and make you feel so isolated as well. I think it's one of the scariest films of all time. It's almost like one of those films where you go back and rewatch it and you're like, it won't be as scary. People have done so similar. And then you're like, no, this is like the pinnacle of that, like I said earlier, that possession era film. Like 2010s, everything was like possession. It was such a like ridiculous amount of possession films, and like Insidious and Conjuring, they kind of remain the scary ones, so to speak,
Yeah, The Conjuring 1, like obviously like there's a lot of suspense in it, but also just like I remember the final act just being just such a fun roller coaster of just it's crazy. Your mind's blown. It just goes to 100 miles per hour. Just it's because is Annabelle like the common thread through all of them? Because obviously like I just used it for the guess the movie, and I saw that Annabelle was like in the first second, like the very first seconds of the first Conjuring is Annabelle like saying like, oh, it scares me talking about this. Yeah. Is Annabelle's face.
Because Annabelle's in all of them. I mean, we were just saying that as an entity, I don't think she's that scary, to be honest, as one of the like people things, I guess. But there's 3 Annabelle films that came out not many years apart. I actually think 2 of them are okay. I think I gave 2 of them 3 stars, which is kind of surprising because they all have low ratings. I don't think they're bad. The first one I think is pretty bad, but like she is the common thread. I felt like it doesn't really work for me that much. I mean, I can't say too much. I mean, because you haven't seen the latest one, but I said to Cam disagreed, but he just said that he's scared about everything. But I do think, although I didn't think it was a bad film by any means, I think the scare factor has like massively decreased with them. And again, that could probably use a James Wan thing. But even like the jump scare moments, it has now become a position where it's like, okay, yeah, that was definitely going to happen. If you watch a jump scare and you barely blink, you're like, okay.
Yeah. Is Last Rites the 4th Conjuring or the 3rd?
It's the 4th. So it's the 4th Conjuring, but there's 2 nuns, there's 3 Annabelles, there's 4 Conjurings, and there's Curse of La Llorona, which we haven't seen, and that's got a 1.9 on Letterboxd. So I can't say I particularly like. I'm like dying to see that anyway. But I think there's quite a lot of films, and me and Cam were just like joking because there is something that's kind of left unspoken about from the film that's just come out, where they could maybe do another film related to that kind of entity, that demon, which wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. I don't know how this is doing at the box office. I'm not actually too sure.
It's probably doing well as a horror, so I don't know.
I know, but I guess let me search it. The Last Rites box office.
Might be too early to get too much information.
The Conjuring Last Rites heavenly opening weekend now around 75 million.
Oh, franchise best opening, so it's the best opening for any Conjuring.
How do they do it? I don't. It made 35 million on the first day.
It's crazy.
It really is.
I've seen people make like the comments about it being like the Conjuring Endgame and stuff like that. But I feel like they didn't really market it a ton that way. So because I'm just thinking like when you market something as like an Avengers Endgame, like that gets people to the theater because like, oh, I'm going to see all the hits of the franchise. I feel like the trailers didn't really. Yeah,
I agree.
You can get anyone in. But if you just have the name The Conjuring in it, like shout out to The Conjuring for not doing Annabelle a Conjuring story or The Nun a Conjuring story, because that would have gave them probably another 50 million minimum just on the box office for each of those.
Yeah, true. I think what me and Cam were saying is what separates them from the rest of like the Annabelle stuff is the Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga effect. Like they, when a franchise is on its like tail end, we see all the time about actors like phoning it in. It's very much a celebratory effort with this one, and they are like consistently the best thing about these films as well. I compared it like not directly, it's not that similar, but like Final Reckoning, in that it is kind of an end game, so to speak, is quite reflective, but also no one is like half-arsing it. This is like real effort put in. I think Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga are like genuinely really good actors, and they managed to carry. Like even the last one, Devil Made Me Do It, which I didn't like, is the only Conjuring that I would say I really don't like. They are still like the shining light there, and they care so much about it as an entity and as a project that it's like worth celebrating to them. So it is kind of like an end game, almost like at the end when there's like a wedding that you get some characters you've seen before, and like James Wan sat at the wedding and stuff, and it's just like so silly. But it's like it is charming in a way as well. Do you know what I mean?
Is the Insidious franchise done with the final film, or did that also kind of leave it like, yeah, it's supposed to be done, but like they could crack another one if they wanted to?
I actually can't.
Was the last one the Red Door, or was that too?
Yeah, the last one was the Red Door. I can't actually remember how that ended now. I think it was meant to be like the last one because it was like Patrick Wilson directed that as well.
Yeah.
And I was like his swan song almost. I always forget. Like, yeah, because that was like the 5th Insidious as well. So really, like, think about Patrick Wilson. Like, the amount of stuff he's been in now, do you know what I mean? Of horror, like, spent dedicated so much time to the Conjuring and Insidious franchise. It's really just made it his like life's work, so to speak. You know?
Yeah, James Wan is kind of just like the king of like starting franchises, like Saw, Insidious, Conjuring, and then everything else. Malignant's really the only one because like Aquaman, yeah, obviously got 2 films. Furious 7's what he directed, but still obviously franchise. He's kind of just like a franchise guy.
He's actually only directed.
Tend to be.
Oh no, he's directed 1 film that isn't, which I should watch.
Malignant, right?
Oh, sorry, yeah, 2. He also directed one called Death Sentence. It's a action thriller with Kevin Bacon in. Never heard of it, but maybe I'll give it down. Yeah. I need to go to the toilet, so I'll let you guys go on.
We'll do highest to lowest. We'll let you know when we're done. All right, highest to lowest time. Welcome back, Cam. I got the synopsis up for you.
Thank you.
So, directed by Spike Lee, came out on Apple TV Plus this weekend after getting a very limited theatrical release at like August 15th, but now it's available for everyone to see across the world. Highest to lowest, all money ain't good money. When a Titan music mogul is targeted with a ransom plot, he's jammed up in a life or death moral dilemma, a reinterpretation of Akira Kurosawa's crime thriller High and Low, now played out in the mean streets of modern day New York City. Starring Denzel Washington, Jeffrey Wright, you have A$AP Rocky in there, you have Ice Spice in there. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into our review. Oh, you also have Anthony Ramos in it, starring as Anthony Ramos, which was very, very odd little thing that happened in the movie. But yeah, let's get in the movie. Would you like to start with your non-spoiler thoughts?
I real quick can give my thoughts. I enjoyed highest to lowest. I didn't love it. I had a fairly good time with it. I think I'm gonna land around maybe like a 68 out of 68 out of 100, like a 3.5 stars. That's a number at a wall, though. We'll see where in this year's rankings it rack and stacks. I enjoyed it, but didn't love it as much as High and Low. That kind of sucks, like comparing the two, but it's just inevitably what you're gonna do when you have a remake, right? I think Akira Kurosawa's High and Low was amazing, and this was good, not great. I like Denzel. He's kind of another actor we just talked, like Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga in the Conjuring movies can do no wrong. Denzel can do no wrong in really anything. He's wonderful as always. I really like Jeffrey Wright. I don't know if you still have the opinion that you don't love him, but I really like Jeffrey Wright. I don't care for A$AP Rocky's villain in this. I do not think he's nearly as good as like the villain in High and Low. But I think that's kind of a large downfall for me in this movie. But I enjoyed my time with Highest to Lowest. I think Spike Lee's a really great director. I, for the most part, enjoy like everything he's done. I'm sure there are things that people don't love that I just haven't seen of his, but for the most part, everything I've seen of his, I really enjoy.
You seen The Old Boy 2013?
Oh no, I forgot that was Spike Lee. Never mind. Bummer. So you can do wrong, Spike.
Well, you said you saw Akira Kurosawa's High and Low, so you can at least say this is a more successful.
This much more successful
American remake than that.
Yes, way more successful than that. Wow, forgot he did that. Bummer. But yeah, I had a good time with it. Liked it a decent amount, a little bit more than The Conjuring. And honestly, my review for The Conjuring will probably sound a lot more positive than my review for Highest to Lowest. And I feel like that's just because comparing it to to something previously made in highest to lowest. And I liked what was previously made a lot more.
Yeah, I did not get a chance to see Akira Kurosawa's High and Low yet, but it's obviously a classic from one of the great directors, so I'm sure I will get around to it. But yeah, it's interesting. We'll get kind of our two different opinions, you having seen it, me not having seen it. I'm curious with like the casting of A$AP Rocky and Ice Spice, how much of that was Spike Lee and how much of that was like Apple suggesting like, oh, get one of our, Apple Music big artists like in your movie so we can promote that. I'm sure Spike Lee like was very in favor of having them in the movie, but I think Ice Spice is the best like bang for your buck you can get because she's in this movie. Like I remember when she was announced in this movie, I was like, what the heck? She's not gonna be able to act. She's gonna be awful. And she's like in this movie for like a minute tops. Like she's so. But the thing is, like, it didn't matter
because he's a music producer, so they just
right, exactly. But I mean, she's not even like a musician. She's like works in his like record label or whatever. But it's yeah. I mean, when the cast was announced of like Ice Spice and A$AP Rocky, I feel like that was almost like a year ago at this point. So I feel like they could have capitalized on it more because I feel like they announced it, everyone went crazy that those two were in a movie, and then it just kind of died away. And then obviously like with this release strategy of just barely putting it in theaters and then dumping it on Apple TV, like it just loses all its steam. But I really dug Highest to Lowest. It really worked for me. Like Spike Lee, I'm still not deep at all in his filmography. I think I've really only seen Old Boy and Do the Right Thing. And I think that might be it. Like I really need to see
like Black Klansman or no?
No, and I like Defy Bloods. Like there's a lot of like
great
Spike Lee works that I miss out on, like Malcolm X. So definitely need to dive into more Spike Lee, but I really enjoyed this. I think this movie got very mixed reactions when it was first premiering. A lot of people were kind of saying like, does Spike Lee still have it? Does he not? People were kind of differing on that opinion. But this really worked for me. I think to your point about Jeffrey Wright, I'm usually not the highest in him because to me, like he plays like this like very serious melodramatic character in movies that I feel like don't really call for it. Whereas this, I'm the complete opposite. I think Jeffrey Wright is great in this because this movie is so melodramatic, so over the top, almost silly in his portrayal of these characters, but like intentionally for the story they're trying to tell. And I think he works in that perfectly with this style of acting. American Fiction, I really liked from him recently too. So I guess like Jeffrey Wright recently has been winning me over, but I saw a lot of reactions before I saw this movie. Really the only reactions I saw was people talking about the score. And like the first half, you were like, oh, it's such a jarring score. So when I heard the word, I kept seeing the word jarring a lot. So when I heard that, I kept thinking like it was going to be like piercing, intense, like score that's juxtaposed against this movie, which isn't the case. It is an odd score for sure, but it's almost like an NPC, like video game, like calm lobby music, like RuneScape type of score for most of the first half. I really like the soundtrack, but I mean the score itself. But again, I think that just plays into the melodrama of it all so well because basically the story is like a serious film and just like High and Low based on just reading the synopsis is like, you have a kidnapping, ransom, very serious stakes, like life or death stakes, millions of dollars at stake in terms of the fee to get him back. And you kind of have this back and forth in this movie with Denzel Washington as a music producer whose son gets kidnapped, but ultimately isn't his son, versus, A$AP Rocky is the villain. And I don't know. A$AP Rocky I didn't hate, didn't love. I thought he did fine for his role, but movie shot well. I liked the way it looked. The score, again, worked for me. The melodrama really worked for me. The first half of this movie is just really a little ridiculous in his portrayal of the characters in a way that I think is successful, whereas the back half like really locks into the story to get everything resolved. I do think it lets off the gas a little bit in the third act in terms of how much I was locked in. But then you end with a really great like musical number. But we'll get into spoilers now so we can talk a little more freely about it. But kind of the big thing for me was obviously a tale of capitalism, greed, and just having money being the motive for Denzel Washington's character, David King. The melodrama I think works perfectly for that, where his son goes to his basketball camp and gets kidnapped. So they thought. So the mom and dad, David King and his wife, get alerted that his son's been kidnapped. They're demanding, I believe, $17.5 million is the number for him to get his son back. They quickly find out, the police and investigators find out that it wasn't his son that was taken. It was actually his son's friend at the basketball camp, who is the son of Jeffrey Wright, who is like kind of like Denzel Washington's main man, is kind of the do-all kind of guy for him, sidekick. So it's not Denzel Washington's actual blood kid, but it is someone close to him. And like the way even when he thinks it is his son, the way he reacts and is just so ridiculous in the sense that like he's so hesitant about the money. He always wants to maintain control in the engagements and relationship, even though like the police are saying like be cooperative, like your son is like could be like getting killed by this guy, but he's just like, no, I'm not going to give you the money, playing hardball. And you learn early on in this movie, he's kind of like this business mogul that's on the brink of losing everything, and he's trying to either buy the record label, start his own thing. Basically, he has a lot of money in a lot of different accounts in terms of like investments, but not a lot liquidated right now. And they're kind of struggling to make ends meet in terms of he just has so much money on the line for all these different investments that he's almost like uncut gemsing it, where he's just like on the brink of losing everything, but he's just trying to make things move, trying to make things keep moving and keep building his empire. So once the ransom comes, he's like, this is like a non-starter. Like I need this money to either buy this record label or just stay afloat. So there's no way I'm going to give it up, even though it's like his literal son. And when he finds out it's not his son, it's like someone very close to his family and near and dear to him in terms of Jeffrey Wright's son. But all he can think about is the money. All he cares about is his empire. And then obviously once he finds out it's not his son, he goes even more so in that direction where like he doesn't care at all about getting this guy back. He really has no interest in paying the ransom, really engaging with this. He's like, why would I pay money for this dude? He's not my son. Even when Jeffrey Wright's like in the room right there with him, just straight up to his face will say like, you're not my blood. You're not my family. I don't even really care. Like even when it was my son who was taken, like I still didn't really care that much because I needed the money for my record deal and keep making things moving. And that's why I kind of think the NPC like odd score really worked well, because like David King just lives in like this fantasy world where like in his mind, like nothing will go wrong. Like everything he wants to do, he's going to get and it's going to happen. So when this like catastrophic thing of his son getting kidnapped happens, it should be something that anyone's life would just be shattered and like they would quit everything and just focus solely on trying to get their son back. But he's just still kind of like just moving on through life. So making deals, going to work, like it's kind of like a background nuisance that he's like getting taken care of. And he's still just a laser focus on trying to find the next big thing. But which I think is really effectively done. And I think it is shown well through his family as well. Like his son is kind of like handed everything on a platter in terms of like, he's trying to be a basketball star. And obviously David King's got all the connections and money in the world. So he sends him to this elite basketball camp, gets him all the best trainers, gets him all the best facilities to try and become a star basketball player. But his son still is kind of messes around at the camp, ditches it, which is how the kidnapping ended up being happening. He was basically forced to do sprints from his coach, and he's like, screw this, I'm out of here. He's like basically telling his dad to risk things and take gambles on people just because the girls are sliding into his DMs and he wants to go on a date with them. We see in the end, it like ended up being, a very good investment and like a good find from him. But the kind of like funniest moment with his son, which is like just kind of shows just like the craziness of this family who's so focused on money and greed, is when his son gets recovered from the kidnapping, but Jeffrey Wright's son is still kidnapped. His son's like in the room with David King, Denzel Washington. And he's like, please don't tell mom that I hurt my ankle running sprints at practice, when like he just got kidnapped. His best friend is like kidnapped right now. And who knows what the safety of him is going to be. And all this is still going on around craziness. Like the only thing in his mind is like, yeah, I hurt my ankle a little bit running sprints. Please don't tell mom. So it's just, I think this film is very silly, but it uses that silliness to his advantage of showing like these people are not real people. Like they are very real people that exist in the world. But to us watching it, it's just like they have everything they could ever want in the world. An idyllic high-rise apartment, beautiful family, a music empire. Everyone knows your name. You're a big boss in town. Everyone in the music industry wants to work with you. So you have just this perfect life. And because of that, you just think nothing will ever go wrong. You don't care about any consequences because you just know you have some, low salary police officer or some fixer like Jeffrey Wright who takes care of all that for you. So you never have to worry about it. So they're all just so overt in their riches and just so selfish in the fact that like they can just do anything they want. I think it worked really well in the first half before kind of getting the second half when Denzel Washington really locks in and it almost becomes more of like a revenge plot / it's more revenge for Jeffrey Wright, but for Denzel Washington, it's more like no one ever wins over Denzel Washington. No one ever beats David King. No one ever like pulls a fast one on him. So rather than like going to kill him, it was more like he wants to just find who this guy is and learn about like, who's this guy who thinks he can like challenge the king like this. And that's where you get A$AP Rocky, who again, like he's in a way more than Ice Spice, but you really only hear him on the phone for the first 3/4 of the movie. And then the final act is when you kind of see him in the movie. You realize he's an up and coming rapper trying to get signed by Denzel Washington's record label, stacking records. So he kind of uses this plot to, I guess, yeah, he likes the money, but really all he was trying to do was just get the attention of David King, get him in a room with him, show him his demo, and try and get signed by the record label, which again just shows another side of the thing with A$AP Rocky's story, another side of this coin where someone on the ground who is trying to get by and trying to do anything they can to survive, just they're so laser focused on getting by that everything else kind of goes in the rear view for them. And he'll risk everything and doesn't even think of the consequences of what will happen of trying to kidnap someone for $17.5 million, which again, like he has to obviously know he's going to put him away in prison for a long, long time. But even when he's in jail talking to Denzel Washington, he's just like, man, every record label is trying to sign me. I'm the hottest thing since sliced bread. Like clearly realize like he's going to be in jail for a long time. Like it isn't just like he's getting 25 years, I believe. So even in the point when he's locked up behind bars, he's still all he can think about is like, oh, I finally made it. This is my big moment. I'm breaking through. So everyone's kind of climbing their own. They're all at different ladders of the rungs of the ladder, but they're all climbing just for money, fame, notoriety, and really never looking back or below them or considering any consequences. And I really liked it. I had a great time in this movie. It's like 2 hours, 20 minutes, but it moved really fast for me. I have more thoughts, but I've been talking for a while, so I'll drop out now and let you talk anything.
You're fine. I think I'm gonna spoil high and low for you, Tyler, but
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but it is it's a beat for beat, not a beat for beat remake. They take a lot of different routes to get to the same place, I would say, but it's a very similar remake. And I think it just misses on a lot of the points that High and Low makes with like classism and how, you know, the ultra wealthy can drive like the lower class insane. Whereas like A$AP Rocky's character, I feel like doesn't really have any redeeming qualities at all. Is kind of just like an asshole, like psychopath that's, you know, like you said, doing anything to try to get FaceTime with Denzel's character. But he's not a redeemable character. And whereas High and Low is not a redeemable character by any means, but you like understand, like he basically he's a person that lives in the apartment complex, like right next to Gondo, who's in the High and Low character. And like he has to watch his like riches every day kind of thing. And he's just driven mad by like the insane, like the ultra wealthy basically. And it's again, it's a similar story. I think just the themes of High and Low, I think hit a lot more than maybe Highest to Lowest, which is trying to do similar things. I just don't think they fleshed out the characters as well, maybe. And also like Denzel, like High and Low is not anywhere like action movie really at all, like at all. And this breaks into that gunfight and has some action in it. And Denzel obviously is a great like all-time like action actor, like doing that. Oh Jesus, what action franchise does he have?
Equalizer.
The Equalizer, thank you. Like doing all the Equalizer movies and everything. Like he's very clearly well versed in action and everything. It's just like I think that was kind of that's trying to modernize it, right? What do people nowadays want? They want like less slow paced, thought provoking movie, more fast paced like action movie a little bit. And so trying to mold to that, just something that didn't work for me as much. Again, I had a good time with it. It's just not something I loved as much as the original, I guess, is really unfortunately like the only thing I can go back to, because it is such a similar movie, officially slop. But it's just so similar but so different, and a lot of the changes is just one of those things that you're like, I didn't like that as much as High and Low. I didn't like that as much as High and Low. I didn't like that as much as High and Low. Unfortunately, it's just kind of like what my brain can go back to. So, you know, if you want a review that's not like strictly based on the original, like I think the music in this movie is good. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was necessarily jarring. I understand where people are coming from, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Denzel. I enjoyed Jeffrey Wright. A$AP Rocky, I think, you know, is a fine actor. He's obviously not like a pure actor, but like he's fine in this. I just didn't love his character in what is he, Young Felon, as much. And so like, I think there's a lot of good in here. And you know, if you're, again, Tyler, watching this before High and Low, like I definitely, I like the story and everything. I just think it's, you know, not as good as the original in my opinion. So I think if I were to watch this first, maybe I'd be a little higher on it.
Or maybe a little lower on it.
Higher or lower. That'll be the third remake, and like in not in the US or Asia, maybe it's in like Canada or something. Who knows? But yeah, it was a good movie, not great. I like I said, I enjoyed a lot about it, but just comparing it to the original, I can't get behind. Do you know Ice Spice's real name? Only reason I ask is
no, I was looking for it in the cast, but I do not. What is it?
Isis Gaston.
Oh, okay.
Is her real name. So yeah, I just saw that in the cast list on Wikipedia. Thought it'd be fun trivia. So there you go. What else do you have to say? You said you had a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I have a lot more, but I think I could see, I am interested to go to High and Low to watch that, because I do think the weakest part of this is, like you kind of mentioned, that might be the plus side of High and Low, is I think this movie does a great job of showing you inside the mind of David King and the ultra wealthy, and kind of the greed and blinders that they have on, and how they're just so driven by their empire.
Mm-hmm.
But it's story of A$AP Rocky. Again, he's not redeemable. It's kind of showing someone who's struggling, just trying to make it, and basically kind of just positioning him as someone who's just kind of breaking all the laws. I mean, like, you could say, oh, if he kidnapped a kid and held him for ransom, just talk to David King, like, obviously it's still very much illegal and very immoral, but you could be like, oh, if he just does that, then maybe it's like, okay, you can get it. Like, he's just really pushed to the brink and he's going to do anything. But like the kid, David King, or Denzel Washington's son's friend, so Jeffrey Wright's son, he's like beaten badly, and like he like almost seems like he has like brain trauma of like where he's like not really all there. So it's like clearly he's like a messed up dude, like just, whether it was him or one of his posse just like beating this dude. So it's like there's nothing redeemable about this guy. And the same thing with Jeffrey Wright. Like, basically you find out he used to be a felon and he's now working for David King, getting his life back on track, and then his son gets kidnapped. And I think they do a little better job with Jeffrey Wright's character than A$AP Rocky's, but still, like, Jeffrey Wright's, he's kind of made it a little further than A$AP Rocky. Obviously he's in the room with music executives, but he's still a guy who kind of came from nothing, almost derailed his life, and he's trying to get back on track. I feel like he didn't do the greatest job of showing him as a character at a different level of class. Like, he was kind of the punching bag for Denzel Washington for a lot of it, of Denzel Washington saying like, yeah, like, you know, I don't care about you or your family as much. And then Jeffrey Wright kind of like seeking revenge and wanting, whereas Denzel Washington just kind of wanted the money back and the kids to be safe, whereas Jeffrey Wright wanted, you know, to really punish the person for doing this. So I feel like the different classes weren't tackled well in this movie. I feel like it was really just the highest class that was tackled in this movie well. The other ones kind of just got very, well, Jeffrey Wright's character mediocre in terms of its conversation on class, and then A$AP Rocky really just no conversation on class other than him just being completely irredeemable, which I don't think serves the narrative the best. So I think that's the biggest drawback for me. I'm a huge fan of whenever movies name drop a title if they do it creatively in a movie, which it did at first when like A$AP Rocky had his kind of final monologue and he said like highest and lowest. And I was like, hell yeah, nice. But then the final scene is like this woman singing a song, beautiful song, great song, fun scene. Then she ends it, she's like, oh, it's named highest to lowest. I'm like, you did too much. I like when you just subtly drop the highest and lowest, and then Denzel Washington's like, mine was like, oh, nice statement you had there. But then the end, I like when you give a little subtle nod to the title, but when you just say it straight out loud like several times, a little silly. Obviously nothing to detract from the movie for me, but yeah, it's the movie worked for me for the most part. Like, you know, his son, just this kind of guy with a silver platter who is handed everything and kind of still messes up by just like not caring about basketball. And then his dad's like this music mogul empire owner, and he's kind of using his dad to, you know, get girls in his DMs. And then at the end of the movie, when he finally shows him someone who's a great artist that's going to be signed to his new record label that he started with his family, he's still like, oh, like, what's my cut? It's like a funny joking moment, but like also you could tell there's a lot of seriousness like in that conversation as well. Like, he's like, you know, I want my angle. I want my money from this. And his father like probably knows that's the right thing too. But and again, it's like a laughing moment, but you can tell behind the eyes, like Denzel Washington's like, hell no, you're my son. Like, and he even says like, oh, family business, that's nice. But you know, in his mind, like, he's like, this is my business. None of you are going to tell me how to dictate it. Like, everything that's successful from this is going to be mine. So it's a good contradiction where like he's like a family man, but like not really. Like I don't think he really cares about his family that much. I don't think he really cares about his wife that much. His wife is like, again, a lot of the performances are so melodramatic, so it's hard to like critique because they're not supposed to be very real world. But I think his wife is probably like the worst actor in the movie. Like she's, especially when like his son, again, his first half super melodramatic, so I get what she's going for. But when the son's first kidnapped, and I guess part of it, like I never get the sense. I know she's like very much into, like they always talk about her social media followers and how rich and put together she always looks, but she still seems like more having a heart than David King. So like when her son gets kidnapped, like the way she reacts is very almost fake, and to the point to where like I thought in the beginning of the movie I was like a little bummed. I think it was like, oh, like I predicted the movie right away. 10 minutes in, like clearly Denzel Washington hired someone to like kidnap his son in order to like get the money from insurance, so then he can use that to buy the studio, which he was still trying to like do in a way, but so he was very much like not in cahoots with A$AP Rocky to make this happen. But the way like the wife reacted so like over the top silly of like, oh my gosh, our son's taken, and how he was so like not that interested in paying the money and everything. I was like, oh, this is clearly like an insurance ploy or something so he can make money to buy the studio, which wasn't the case, which I was happy it wasn't that predictable. But her performance was just definitely the weak spot for me. But other than that, I think everyone did very well in this movie. Unfortunately, I got to find this guy's name.
While you're looking, like that's one, I think like one big strength of High and Low is like as soon as the son is taken, he's like, pay it. And then as soon as you find out that it wasn't his kid, he's like, well, now hold off. We got to be smart about this kind of thing. And I think they do that a little bit in this, just not as well. And then like the biggest change of this movie is like Jeffrey Wright's character is like a pure character in this movie. And like they go off on their own like revenge plot, right? But in the High and Low remake, like or High and Low original, the chauffeur whose son is taken is like not really a character. He's basically just standing there freaking out the whole time, like, oh, you have to help me get my son back. And then he like is in the movie. But I think that I really like the addition of like Jeffrey Wright's character, like making him a lot more of a character in this. So I think that was a benefit. But
yeah, the actor I was looking for is Dean Winters, also from John Wick 1. The guy from the insurance commercials, the Mayhem.
Yes.
Just unfortunate for that. Like, it's just when you sell yourself that much in commercials, I'm just never going to be able to take you seriously in movies. Like when I was rewatching John Wick before Ballerina, I was like, man, just any scene with you and any line you deliver, I'm sorry. I just don't think I have it in me to ever take you as a serious actor. I didn't think he was bad in John Wick. Didn't think he was bad in this, but I just can't. Yeah. And it's also funny too, because like, what is that? What insurance company is that? Like
Allstate, right?
Yeah, but it is Allstate. Or well, no, Allstate I thought was a guy who has a really low voice. He's like Allstate.
I think yes, it is, but I think they have both.
Okay, but I remember at one point, like when his character's in the room, they like make a joke about like State Farm insurance, and I was like, Dean Winters read that in the script. He's like, I got to run this, but I got to run this by my people. I don't know if I can be in a movie talking about State Farm, but he's every time I see him, I'm like, which isn't often to be fair. He's not in a ton of like big movies, but I'm like, I just can't take you seriously. But the scene I love the most about this movie is when the Denzel Washington drops the bag from the subway. I think that the chaos of that scene is done so well of Denzel Washington going down the subway. You have all the Yankees fans like chanting in the background. The score is really intense. You have quick cuts of him, like the emergency brake getting pulled, the bag being dropped. And you have like a bunch of people changing hands with the mopeds and like misdirection of the cops. And they're all chasing them and going down the wrong path. Meanwhile, you have like them chanting, like saying like the Boston fan sucks for pulling the brakes. And it's just such a chaotic scene that's pulled off super well. And yeah, I guess I critiqued F1, the movie, being an Apple movie for how much it showed the Apple AirPods Max. And I guess I'd be like a little bit of a hypocrite if I didn't like at least mention it for highest to lowest. Like, yeah, a lot of Apple products, but like he's a music producer. So just like, it didn't bother me in this where it's like F1. It's like Brad Pitt's supposed to be like this, like broke, like kind of indie boy who like doesn't know any modern technology, but yet he has like the latest Apple AirPods Max. Like it just was a little jarring in that. Again, I didn't lower F1 or anything because of that. It was just something I mentioned. But yeah, there's a lot of Apple products in this movie, but when you're a music producer, it just makes a little more sense. But yeah, there's a lot of aura farming at Denzel Washington looking out windows when they just like zoom into a Beats logo on the headphone. But
it's classic Apple movies. Like I feel like it's
Yeah, I mean, we just got to at least be lucky that, and Killers of the Flower Moon. They didn't
sitting right here.
Yeah.
Apple's kind of all around us, unfortunately. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
ReelTok. Apple
AirPods.
Nice.
Hell yeah. It's awesome.
But we were just lucky that, like Lily Gladstone didn't have like an iPad in Killers of the Flower Moon or something.
Yeah, no,
would have been ridiculous. Yeah, that's kind of all I have to say on highest to lowest. I enjoyed it. I give it a 4-star. I really liked it after watching it, and it moved up pretty high in my 2025 rankings. I got to see where it's at right now. It's at 4 right now, but that's more a critique on the year than it is a bonus of highest lowest. I still really liked it, but
yeah, it's my 14th.
Does it feel like a 4th best on the year? No. Yeah, 14th. What are the 13 movies you got ahead of it?
Let's see. I just placed it, and 68 was right on the money. So I got ball knowledge.
Nice.
But let's see. So Sinners, Superman, Thunderbolts, 28 Years Later, Weapons, F1, Materialist, Fantastic Four, K-pop Demon Hunters, Leo, the Predator movie, Den of Thieves, Ballerina, then highest to lowest.
Wait, Calvin, I was going to ask you, where did you have Conjuring?
Highest to lowest, Companion, Conjuring.
What number is that?
Companion, not high.
16?
16. I've got a lot.
I have it 17.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 movies at 3.5 right now. So just kind of like a fine year, like I'd love to get some 5 stars in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to have some 5 stars by the end of the year, but 4 4.5s, 4 4s, and then
yeah, I'm struggling this year.
There's a fun question for you too. So I was just on the movie draft podcast when we were doing like best of 2025 movies so far.
Yeah.
And Ethan asked, well, I think Brian Sudfeld actually was when he brought it up, and then we all kind of went around the call. If you had to give a letterbox score to 2025 as a year for movies so far right now, what would your score for the year be?
Say that again.
So you rate
the year.
Yeah, like the 2025 movies so far, is it a 3-star year? Is that a 2? Is it a 4?
Right now, I'd say 3 because I'm lacking real big hitters. I've got 3 4.5s. Usually at this point of the year, I have at least 1 5, and I haven't got that many 4s.
Yeah, I'd like if. Frankly, right now we're tracking for an Avatar 5. Like I feel like I got to get something a 5 this year at some point.
I mean, you don't have to, but
I think I have to.
It's going to be weird if we all
know if Avatar. Yeah, honestly, this would genuinely be the first year I've ever not given a 5 out. If it continues this way, and like
I feel like
now here's the thing. Like I'm really excited for the Smashing Machine. We'll get into that shortly. Like I'm very excited for that and Marty Supreme right now. So
not one battle after another.
One Battle After Another might be the worst marketed movie of all time. I couldn't care for it at all because of
putting a PTA film in Fortnite is fucking insane. Crazy.
And unfortunately, man, they just had like a little like scroll through text about the formats you can see. Put PTA up there telling me what 16 perf is. Like just get me.
And they're like posting the worst like memes as well on the official account. It's like
they are fumbling.
This one question, Tyler. I feel like at this point, I only have 3 4.5s and 4 4s. I feel like in September in previous years, I've had more than 7 films at a 4-star. I feel like that's a given,
Yeah. I'm between like a 3 and a 2.5 in the year so far. And the thing, like I have so many movies I'm so excited for the rest of the year.
Did you get Sinners a 5?
I did, yeah. So I do have a 5, and then Eddington at a 4.5, and then that's it, 4.5 and above. I got Sorry Baby, Highest to Lowest, Ballad of Wallace Island, Superman, 17. Those are all 4s. But there's so many films I'm so excited for the rest of the year that I think will make it a great year still. But I don't know. And again, I don't want to put too much stock in early reactions. I think a lot of the early reactions have been really great, but it almost sounds like a lot of the movies I'm excited for are like good, but not that director's like great. Yeah. It's like After the Hunt, very mixed reviews, obviously negative reviews, and even plenty of other directors' movies. Like they get good reviews, but it doesn't seem like anyone's like, yeah, this is like their best movie.
The one after another just feels like I'll really like it, but not much more than that. I've just got vibes like a 4, 3.5.
I would be stunned if it can top Phantom Thread and There Will Be Blood for me.
If it's not Phantom Thread, we're talking like for me, like one of the best Essential. I'd be like, or like
I'm still super excited for One Battle After Another, but I feel like if it was in that territory, we would have heard more about it. But we would have been hearing like, the classic Twitter folk being like crazy over the top praises. So I don't think we're gonna be there, but we'll see. But that was a good segue, Cam, into the festival stuff.
Yeah.
Just
So
one more thing. Do you know one thing I'm really excited for, which no one's really speaking? Well, people are speaking about. I think people have seen it.
What?
Just trying to find the name of it. It's the new Lynn Ramsey with Jennifer Lawrence and Ron
Die My
Pattinson.
Darling or Die My Love.
Die My Love. That's it. I'm excited for that a lot. Just I really like Lynn Ramsey and the average.
What's the Big Bold Beautiful Journey? I think that looks awesome. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, that looks cool.
So I'm hoping I something back half of the year really blows us away.
There's no films coming out that I'm like, do you know what I mean? Like an Oppenheimer or a Furiosa for me.
Or
I think this might be like the weakest December. Like Avatar is kind of the big one, but what comes like out in December? Maybe Marty
Supreme, but still like Marty Supreme. I'm excited, but not that excited.
I'm very excited just because I love Timmy, obviously. But I'm
very excited for like the Smashing Machine. I think it's gonna be. I've been saying for a while. I'm really confident in it, but it's not giving me the feels. There's not. Alpha might give me the feels just because it's so polarizing when it premiered at Cannes.
When is that coming out though? Does it have a release date?
No idea.
I don't know if it's gonna be a 2025 release.
Well, I'm gonna count it because it would. Well, actually, let me check. So it says. Oh wait, no, we get it at the end of November.
Okay, so I'm sure it'll probably be around the
You
want to talking about feels though, and like something that gives me the goosies. Remember 2020? It's talking about Timothée Chalamet in December. Remember 2023 when we had Wonka coming out? Those are the days, man. Wonka was such a fun time.
We had like Wonka, Ferrari at that period as well, which I loved. We had so many, I feel like, at the back end of the year. I'm actually going to check now. I'm going to check.
I'm excited for these movies. I don't know what's like the Oscar best
I think Him looks really cool.
What's the Oscar best picture right now?
Hamnet or Sentimental Value?
I think Him looks really cool.
Neither have come out, right? Like
correct. Yeah, Hamnet and Sentimental Value both come out.
Hamnet looks really cool.
Hamnet looks good. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like up until this moment, we've at least in like 2022, we had Everything Everywhere All at Once. By this time, we had Oppenheimer. We had
After Sun in 2022.
We had the Batman.
We had movies that were like, okay, I want that to win Best Picture, and then something comes out later in the year that's like an Oscar darling. I get that, like that will win.
Well, Sinners is kind of that of this year, though. To be fair,
yeah, I know Cam's not quite as high as we are.
I haven't heard any talk like Oscar.
I have I've seen like a lot of talk about Best Picture. I think Sinners like culturally has had like a pretty massive impact because of the legs it had as well, like in terms of numbers of the box office. I'll tell you one that people aren't speaking about. Well, people are, but I'm actually really excited for the new Predator film as well. I think that looks really, really cool. Badlands. I'm pretty excited. But again, it's like one of those films where I'm excited for it. I think it'll be good, but I'm not scratching. I'm not ready for it. There's no films here. I've just looked at all the ones in the UK. There is not a single film here that gets me very, very excited, other than probably Alpha, the new PTA, and Avatar 3. And the rest are just like, that looks cool, and that's it. So maybe there'll be like an Aftersun, because we didn't speak about Aftersun before that came out, and we all fucking gave it 5 stars.
So but that still came out like a May. But yeah, I mean, who knows? There could be one.
No, Aftersun wasn't a May.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was.
It was in the summer.
No, I don't think it was.
Maybe not for you.
Maybe not. It was A24. Yeah, it probably wasn't.
Yeah, you got it in December. To be fair.
Let me. Yeah, probably true. Actually, I'll check. I got it in November. Check when you reviewed it. Surely we didn't get it that far after you. Someone check when you reviewed it.
I think you did get it. I remember it
after work. I saw it November the 18th, 2022.
I saw it for the first time. Oh, never mind. Actually, my first rating was November 9th, 2022. So
see, I knew it. I told you. That was one that we was like close. Cause I think it was like a week earlier. I remember.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I stand corrected. I thought it was.
Thank you.
Just gives the summer vibes.
Yeah. So maybe we will have one of them.
Yeah. Maybe we will.
Yep. November 16th. All right. You got me. That's fine. So we'll see. Let's see. But moving on, we got a lot of film festival reactions recently. Probably the biggest one being the Smashing Machine is apparently very good. Dwayne Johnson got a 15-minute standing ovation. I
haven't seen much about the film itself.
The Rock is very good, we'll say. Got a 15-minute standing ovation. He says that he's making movies for himself now rather than for the box office. We'll see. You make one movie that's really good after.
Robert Downey Jr. said this, by the way, and now he's
now he's back as Doom.
I mean, everyone has to remember we still have Jungle Cruise 2 coming. We have San Andreas 2 coming.
San Andreas 2 is not real. No way.
But wait, is it?
It's in production.
The Scorsese film, which apparently is very raring to go ahead.
Yeah, but is that really like rumbling along, or is that another Scorsese rumor?
No, I think that's the one that's going to be. That's one pre-production. I think that's the one's good. The other ones, the Jesus one and the Frank Sinatra biopic, and also the Wager, they're
fake.
They're fucking nowhere. But that's the one they're going ahead with, because I think they have like studio will probably look at it and be like, that's the one that's going to make money. That's the one that's going to be most popular to general audiences.
But Dwayne Johnson is totally the type of guy to do like Benny Safdie movie and Martin Scorsese movie, and like that's it, and be like, yeah, I'm like a real actor now, and still do like the 8 slop. But in his mind, he's like, I'm a real one now.
I'm
like,
there. Yeah,
I got to pay the bills, right?
Adam Driver, I am you. We are the same.
Yeah. It's cool though. Like I'm really
excited for him. Apparently, he's great. Is it a system role? We'll see.
Well, he'll get an Oscar nomination.
He
will get an Oscar nomination. Yeah. There's no doubt.
I think he for sure will. But it is funny. Like I love festival season because you always see the people being like, "Oh, these are like the best picture favorites. These are the best actor favorites," and like it's just never ends. Like right now, basically, market September 7th. Right now, Hamnet and Sentimental Value are the two everyone's talking about as the best picture runaways. Mm-hmm. Will that be the case come March? We will see. Well, actually, will that be the case come January when ReelTok Awards gives the real first wind vane of which way the award season is going to be tilted.
True. But Benny Safdie did win the Best Director at the Venice Film Festivals for The Smashing Machine.
Did you see his acceptance speech controversy?
No.
He thanked everyone in his family individually except Josh Safdie.
Really?
I did see some about there.
Drama brewing.
Big drama.
Happy Gilmore 2 actor shuns rest of family. Interesting. We'll see. I did not see that though. That's funny. Sydney Sweeney getting Best Actress buzz from for her performance in Christie, but Christie is getting not good reviews right now. So we'll see. It could be another. Honestly, it could be another like Blonde esque where I thought Ana de Armas was great. I thought the movie stunk. So we'll see.
I'm hoping Christie's not as bad as Blonde, but yeah, it's not.
Not going to be.
Is it?
Similar movie in any way. I'm just saying I thought Ana de Armas was really great in that. The rest of the movie sucked.
Again, film festivals are so funny. Reviews. Well, it was at 46 when I saw it on Rotten Tomatoes last. Did it go up a bit?
I'm looking at if you go on Letterboxd, there's no negatives.
Letterboxd is all I care about though. So, but
if you swipe down Letterboxd,
I don't think Letterboxd is ever good for early reviews, though. I will say. Unless it's like people I know.
Film festivals, I don't know. Like they're all 3.5.
And to be fair, Sydney Sweeney's like super hated by the populace right now. So if anything, the Letterboxd should be lower because people should be like review bombing it. So
Cam, did you see this review? Oh, okay. So Cam, you won't see this review. It's got 6 likes. One of the reviews of Christie is, "Oh, so y'all hated Blonde."
Oh wow, Cam.
Yeah,
Cam knows ball. But yeah, I saw a lot of people saying like, "Wow, Sydney Sweeney is incredible in this," and then like obviously reviews dropped and it's not the greatest. But that's just why festival season's always so funny because people are so awards pilled always. It's like again, like the Smash Machine is getting great reviews, but still all we heard about was like Dwayne Johnson gets 15-minute standing ovation.
It was all Dwayne Johnson.
They were standing for the movie, but like the headline of Discussing Film says like literally Dwayne Johnson like gets 15-minute standing ovation. It's like Emily Blunt's right there too. Benny Safdie. It's just silly. But Sydney Sweeney, I've always thought was really great. She's like not really hated. She's kind of hated on. I mean, obviously way hated on now in the past month based on all the political climate stuff. But I mean, even before then, like I feel like a lot of people usually dog on her acting. But I've always.
I think she's
she's really great actress.
People either really like her or really don't like her. I'm kind of in the middle though, to be honest.
I'm still an Immaculate head, and I think she was great in Immaculate. But excited to see this.
I refuse to back to the Smashing Machine. I refuse to accept that there's a movie where Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt are together, and Dwayne Johnson does better than Emily Blunt. So I feel
she might just not be. She might not be written enough.
She probably is, and I'm sure it happens because he's going to be written to be like to make you cry. But I refuse to accept after.
It's just the perfect role for Dwayne Johnson to be like a real role. It's just perfectly written for him.
It'd be crazy if their awards buzz really does carry out in like 2 like wrestling fighting biopics or like the lead. Like we got nominees on both the men and women's side because Christie's a boxer. Smash Machine mark her. So be and
we are really like lacking for me. Combat sports movies like it's like Warrior, and then it's nothing really. There's a couple of like, okay ones, but that's kind of it. Oh, and
Iron Claw's good.
Rocky and Creed.
I feel like that's the easiest.
That's Iron Claw's
Warrior, the wrestler.
Iron Claw doesn't count. Iron Claw doesn't count.
They're all the same.
No, because Iron Claw's wrestling though.
Yeah, but it's a fighting sport. Like it
No, but I mean like for me, like I mean combat sport. Wrestling isn't a combat sport, is it? wrestling's entertainment. It's just
Alex
like not.
Coleman might disagree.
I mean, I think it's still combat.
This isn't me like no.
People.
This isn't me saying I think the wrestling show. I think it's incredibly
but you're
impressive.
still hitting people.
I think it's incredibly impressive, but it's not. Are we considering it a sport
I get what you're
when
saying.
it's fixed?
I get what you're saying.
I
No, but kind of. Okay, fine. Right down below. Can a sport be fixed?
There we go. Comments.
Sport.
Yeah.
Comments. Yeah. It does Iron Claw count as like a combat?
It's
movie?
a fixed.
Comment down below.
And again, I'm not. I think it's incredibly impressive. Also, because I hate people when they say it's fake and that's it, because it's crazy what they do. But can it be counted as a sport if it's fixed?
His brothers die in the ring, like
when all your brothers die for the plot.
I'm searching it
because it was written in.
Yeah.
The voice of Hind Rajab has won grand jury prize at the Venice Film Festival. I'll admit I'm not a film festival guy. I've not looked into.
I haven't heard of that movie either. Don't worry.
Okay,
which one was
Father,
it?
Mother, Sister, Brother.
The voice of Hind Rajab.
I have seen that.
Okay,
I haven't seen
Father,
it.
Mother, Sister, Brother wins the top prize Golden Lion at the Venice Film Festival. So
maybe
that's one to look out. I
what a
no
name!
Clue. Yeah, Jim Jarmusch.
Oh, is that
I
Jim
have no
Jarmusch
clue what it's about,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
Probably about a family.
Oh yeah, it's I've seen this one. Yeah,
Good thought. Moving on to trailers. First trailer, 28 years later, The Bone Temple was released. I'm excited.
I'm fucking love this shit.
Pilled, I'm 28 years later pilled. Released in January 16th, 2026. The release date has me worried. I'll admit. The release date is very much this wasn't a great movie. Let's just release it.
Well, the release date was planned prior to the first film, though, as well.
Okay.
So it's like
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying January releases are never that great. So
I don't disagree, but I will say that the only worry I have, obviously Danny Boyle isn't directing this one. It's Nia DaCosta who directed the Marvels, but also directed the Candyman remake and also directed. Did she direct some episodes of The Walking Dead? I can't remember, something like that. But that's the only worry. Not saying she's bad by any means, but it is obviously a worry when you go from Danny Boyle to someone else, whoever it might be, who's less experienced. Obviously, Danny Boyle's still there. Still has input in that. But again, I think it looks great. I'm very, very excited for them to go down the Jimmy line and go down the kind of generational line that it ended on. I think it's going to be wicked. I'm really, really excited for this. You know, the 28 Years Later is my favorite of the franchise. I loved it. It's my second favorite film of the year. So yeah, I'm very, very excited. Very excited.
Candyman was good. I enjoyed Candyman.
I actually didn't. I haven't seen it, that one.
Yeah, I liked it. But the movie comes out in 4 months, which is like a very normal time to release a trailer. But the fact that it's in 2026 makes it feel like it's like so far away. Even though like it says 4 months, but it feels like it's.
It feels like we just got 28 years later, which is the weird thing.
We kind of did.
We did. Yeah. It was. So what it would be like a 8-month turnaround.
Yeah,
fun. It's fun doing like a sequel that quickly. I like it. Get
Take notes.
Directors, make different movies. Right. We are getting what. We got a lot. We got like 2 Supermans in between the Batman. Like, take notes, the Batman. More
got like 7 seasons of that Slow Horses show on Apple TV in the time between the 2.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I go on Twitter,
apparently they're really good. I don't know how they get it.
People say I don't believe it. I don't know.
Like apparently Slow Horses. Like my mum's watched it and she people love Slow Horses.
Okay.
But
Gary
they
Oldman,
like I think George has watched it as well.
I think he's an A-tier actor according to us. I can't remember. Maybe he was B, but yeah, it's every time I go on Twitter, I feel like I see a discussing film like new trailer for the next season of Slow Horse. I'm like, how many freaking seasons are coming out of this?
Yeah,
I swear.
I thought that for Invincible for a while as well. I remember like before I watched
Invincible.
No, but before I watched it, it just felt like there was news about new Invincible. To be fair, they turned around quite quickly though. Did they not?
Didn't they split it into like a part 1, part 2 season drops?
That might be why
that
it
was
might be
season 2 did, yeah. So that was bad. But I mean, they're trying to do it like once a year or once every 2 years. But the first season was like 2021, and then the second season was like 2024, and then we just got the third season. So now they're doing it quicker.
Oh, maybe it's because I saw it then.
There was a big break between first and second season.
Cool show. I like Invincible.
Got a trailer for Emerald Fennell's Wuthering Heights, starring Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi. I'll admit I didn't watch this trailer. People hate it. People are angry.
I mean, Emerald Fennell is like a director. I've only seen Saltburn, which I didn't like. But I haven't seen Promising Woman, but like
good movie.
She is provocative. She thrives off provocation. I didn't like Saltburn. I think it's kind of bad, not terrible, but yeah, I'm not particularly excited for this. I don't really care about it, but I do find it funny how people are either like, this looks great. Emerald Fenner is just people either love or hate her at this point. And she's only made 2 films.
Yeah,
At least
I'm in the opposite boat of you. I've only seen Promising Young Woman and didn't see Saltburn. Promising Young Woman's really great. I like it a lot, but Saltburn, no clue.
Yeah, I have a hot take on Emerald Fennell. I think she's the number one person where the hate is so forced online.
Oh yeah,
like, people act
Very
like
fair.
she killed their kids in front of them, and Saltburn I didn't love. I think I gave it a 2 or 2.5. Did I hate every second watching it? No, I think I had a fine time watching it. I just felt like it was really pulled from a lot of other movies. I think do everything that movie did a lot better. Didn't think it looked particularly great as well, and just a little bombastic in points where it lost me. Didn't love it, didn't hate it. Promising a Woman I really liked. I know Riley really likes it. I know a friend of the pod, Sophie Holsinger, really loves it. I know a lot of women love it, and I think I'm never going to be able, like, if you've seen the movie, you obviously know what the subject matter is. So it's like there's experiences women have that I'm just never going to be able to. I'm never going to like critique you for liking that movie, and I do like that movie, but it's like it speaks to things that I just don't feel fully equipped to even commentate on as a man, just because it tackles things that, frankly, I'll never have to deal with. So it's
what is this film?
It's
what? Wuthering Heights or Promising Young Woman?
No, Promising Young Woman. I don't know anything about Promising
It's
Young Woman.
it's very much about like sexual
assault, maybe
assault, and
and
like a woman
more intense than
like
that,
a woman like a woman pretends to be drunk and then sexually assault. Oh, and yeah. So,
but I think it's good. That movie gets hated on a lot. People call it like propaganda and stuff. But I think I think Emerald Fennell, the hate is so forced.
Directors. Oh, okay. I think, do you know who I think's up there recently? Maybe not obviously not as bad because he's got lowers. People hate like Robert Eggers to a point where people talk about him like nothing.
Yeah,
like,
but he's still gets way.
Yeah,
no, I agree. He gets more love.
But
like some of the tweets about Robert Eggers are the most like if you're a fan of him, most like patronizing, overly done. Same with M. Night as well.
Welcome to becoming an Ari Aster head, man. I have to deal with this for years.
Ari Aster. I would argue recently, Wes Anderson, not quite as much. People like are really hating Wes Anderson now because
but he's not like as. I feel like he's not like as polar. I feel like people are like just like he's mid or he's like great. I feel like
I'll say
he's the worst.
That's true. I think Robert Eggers, like some of the hate on his like so forth. People talking about the worst
for sure. It's definitely forced. Yeah.
It's like what we talking
I will say this is very much like film talk Twitter hate because
for sure people online.
And if you ask anyone in person, like they have no opinions on Emerald Fennell. So
or they really like her movies, but
or they really like it. Yeah.
I also see a lot of people say like, oh, she comes from riches, so she can never make like proper class commentary, which is like a problem. Like it's like if you're gonna have that against her, you got to have it against every other director. Like it's like basically you can't like the movie Nomadland when Chloe Zhao comes from a billionaire family, and then like say like Emerald Fennell is like can't make class commentary.
Is it Fennel or Fennel? I hear people say it differently. I actually don't know.
I don't know. Well, one of them's like an herb, and the other one's her last name, and I think I get the two mixed up. Like Fennel is an herb, I think Fennel is her last name. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a difficult conversation. I do think, and I will say this, I do think, and again, not to go down that avenue, I do think she does get more hate, especially because she's in the limelight and she is a she, which we do see quite consistently. You know, would we get this hate if it was a man directing things about class consistently? Yeah. No, but in the same token, I do think I get the criticisms about Saltburn specifically. Like I didn't hate Saltburn, I didn't like it, but I do get why people despise that film, and maybe the same for Promising Woman. I haven't seen it, and I think the criticisms are valid. But I do find the conversation around her really, really interesting because it is genuinely what I see. It's like people either fully defending her or like hating her to the point where they treat her as like the worst director working. I'm actually like, I've only seen one of the films, so I'm like, based on what I love, I don't particularly like her, but I don't feel any particular way about her either way, you know?
I think people use her like wealthy upbringing as like an excuse to like hide their like sexism. It almost seems because like some of the comments about her like so charged that you're like, I don't know. It seems like it's something like deeper here in your hatred.
It is weird. Like people, yeah. I mean, the class thing is an interesting one because I do think there is an argument for people of an upbringing where it's a commentary on certain lower classes and classism in that way. I do think there's an argument that could be said about experience and upbringing. But with her specifically, it kind of, for me, it almost feels like commonly it's actually quite like deeper than that. And it's like comes from a genuine vitriol towards her as a person. And maybe it's because she's posh. Okay. Like how many directors come from money? And this is coming from someone who doesn't like her. I think people really like hate her. And I don't really get it. Like, do you know what I mean? It's a difference between hating her and hating the film. I feel like people hate her as well as hating the films. Does that make sense? I don't know. It just seems a bit all over the place to me, but she gets people speaking, which is a great thing for her because regardless, it's kind of like an arrest. I feel like people will watch Wuthering Heights, whether they hate it or love it. And the trailer itself, I don't like the trailer. I'm not sure about this sort of adaptation of Wuthering Heights, but I'll probably still watch it and I'll have something to say after about it. But yeah, interesting conversation for sure.
Oscar winner, Emerald Fennell. We'll see what she's got.
She's an Oscar winner.
Best screenplay, right? For Promising Woman. Yeah.
Oh shit, that one. I didn't realize.
So yeah, we'll see what she's got in her third movie. We did get a trailer for Lynn Ramsey's Die My Love, which you talked earlier, Seth. Looks really good. Robert Pattinson and Jennifer Lawrence. Looks really awesome. I think this looks great. I'm very hopeful. The trailer like doesn't really reveal a ton. It's it follows a mother who struggles to maintain her sanity as she battles with psychosis. You get that a little bit in the trailer, but it's one of those trailers that you watch and you're like, okay, that didn't explain a ton, but I'm excited for it. So we'll see. Much better than the opposite side where it's like, okay, you feel like you've watched the entire movie based on the
funny one with Lynn Ramsey, because I went to see, she'd like there's a few films in cinema a few months ago. I went to see them, and she has like her debut was like 98, and this is only her 5th film. Do you know what I mean? When you think about it, it's kind of crazy. It's almost like a Terrence Malick. You have seen the one with Joaquin Phoenix. You've seen You Were Never Really Here. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, great movie. Great movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was just. Oh, have you not seen We Need to Talk About Kevin? The one with like Tilda Swinton, John C. Reilly, Ezra Miller.
I know what you're talking about, but no, I have not seen.
But like, it is quite interesting to her because I've really liked every single one of the films I've seen. Obviously, all 4 of them. But she's only made. This is only a 5th film in like 27 years, I think it is, which is kind of wild when you think about it. Because people love her as well. So yeah, I'm really, really excited for this. I'm really excited for it, very much so.
Yeah. Next, first trailer for Catherine Bigelow's A House of Dynamite, starring Idris Elba, Rebecca Ferguson, Greta Lee, and Anthony Ramos. Follows the White House reacts in real time to missiles headed for America. I am excited. But it's on Netflix, so I don't necessarily. I think
it's a Netflix release.
Bad taste in my mouth right now. But speaking of Netflix, tomorrow we get a Wake Up Dead Man trailer. So maybe
huge.
Every once in a while they'll have a banger, and maybe this is this year's Oscar movie. We'll see. But I think it looks good, and I like Catherine Bigelow.
What was her last film?
Honestly, I say I like her as a Hurt Locker fan, but that's about it.
I've seen Point Break.
Probably something about the military. That's like all she makes movies about now.
Yeah,
it is very true. She made a film called Detroit in 2017, which is, by the way, about a police raid in Detroit. So kind of similar. I haven't seen it. No idea. I haven't seen anything she's made since. Oh, it's Zero Dark 30. I think. Oh, I haven't seen that. The only thing I've seen is The Hurt Locker and Point Break. That's it.
Interesting. All right, we'll see. I like Zero Dark 30 and The Hurt Locker. So we'll see how this is. We got a new trailer for The Black Phone 2. We've seen that.
I'm pretty excited.
We've gotten a couple trailers for it. Yeah, I like Ethan Hawke, the grabber man. We'll see. We'll see how it is.
Mason Thames is really blown up since the first one too.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He's doing well right now.
Did you guys like the first one? I know you did.
I really liked the first one. Yeah,
I liked it. I didn't love it. Liked it.
I think the second one is actually, for me, like more interesting than I think the first one. So I'm
I love when sequels just kind of go completely in a new direction. That's kind of where
they're making the grabber very much like a devil entity. We'll see how that goes. We got a trailer for Marvel Zombies, which is a TVMA animated Marvel show that they're putting out in end of this month. I believe. Yeah, end of this month. I'm excited for it. Unfortunately, I don't think Marvel's like what if animation style is very good, which is the same they're using for this. They used a different animation for X-Men 97 and Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man animated shows that they made. But this is like very similar to their what if animation, which I don't think is great, I'll admit. But I'm excited for the show. I know you guys probably won't watch it, but TVMA, maybe they do something crazy. We'll see. It does feature Blade that is not being voiced by Mahershala Ali. So that's officially cooked, I think. First trailer for House of Guinness, which is the new series from the Peaky Blinder creator. Follows the Guinness family and the consequences of the death of the head of the brewery, Benjamin Guinness.
You guys like Guinness?
Fine beer. I'm not like a super big fan of dark beers.
Too filling as far as I'm concerned. It's like drinking a milkshake. Very, very.
I'd love to try to split the G one day, but
yeah, but
have not tried. So we'll see one day. Again, a Netflix release at the end of this year. Netflix series, I always feel like have a little bit more respect than Netflix movies, at least.
For sure.
Well, that's what they started with. They started before they even had like that. That's when like House of Cards.
Yeah,
that's the only one coming to my mind.
House of Cards the first one? I think it was.
Stranger Things is
not the first. Oh yeah, Stranger. Yeah, Netflix was like, I feel like known as like the more prestige TV long before they got into like, it's only like the past couple of years they really tried to start going for awards.
Like pushing.
Yeah.
It's like when COVID happened, they're like, oh, let's start making movies type thing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they've had original movies since like Bright with Will Smith back in like 2016.
Fucking hell, that was
they were
so
always
bad.
Yeah.
Bright. Oh my god.
Bright was crazy back then. Yeah, not a good movie. Good song. Had a couple good songs though, because
good songs
music for it, I think. Rest in peace to Graham Greene. If you don't know, he's he's in a million different things in The Green Mile, The Twilights, Wind River, Molly's Game. Really great actor. He's maybe not the most common household name by any means, but he's in a million different things that you've probably seen. So rest in peace, Graham Greene. This is another brutal one. Jordan Peele's next film was removed from the Universal release calendar.
No. Well, apparently the script is incomplete. I think someone said
Jordan Peele kicking himself for not getting weapons even more now because maybe it's going to be pushed back further. Yeah, probably will. I can't imagine Jordan Peele does not have something on the dock to make a good movie next. But
it's just wild. Yeah, it's like because everyone always talked about Peele, Eggers, Aster, like the guys and comparing them as like the modern horror, but it's like by the time this fourth Peele movie comes out, like Eggers and Aster be like on like 5 or 6. It's like they're gonna start lapping them a little bit here. So it's been a long time since
Jordan Peele. Good director.
Yeah, but if his movies keep being great.
Oh, yeah, great director.
A Call of Duty officially in the works. Call of Duty movie officially in the works at Paramount. They're going to make a cinematic universe, TV shows, films, all of that. How much can you do with Call of Duty and not just make it a war movie? We'll see. Well, they got to add some sort of zombies, I assume.
Did you play Call of Duty when like Black Ops?
Yeah, Black Ops. There's stories and there's.
I thought their campaigns were always really.
The campaigns.
I loved the campaigns.
People always just got Call of Duty to play multiplayer, but I was like, I'm playing these campaigns are underrated.
Modern Warfare 2 had like one of the best.
Yeah, Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2, like those are sick movies.
The best campaign, in my opinion, was Black Ops Ghosts. I really like.
Modern Warfare 2 for me.
I'll admit I was not a Modern Warfare 2 guy. It was a little before my time of having like an Xbox. Unfortunately,
Modern Warfare 2 was my favorite one.
That's fair. That's fair, and that's most people's favorite one. To be fair,
have you got written down the? Sorry, Tyler, go on.
I was gonna say basically like people always ask, if you could make a movie adaptation about anything, what would it be? And I kind of always forgot about this, but when I was like a young teenager, what I always begged for a movie of was a zombies movie about like, because like all the Easter eggs in zombies are all connected. Mm-hmm. There's like Dr. Richtofen and his daughter. And there's all these Easter eggs of a story. I was always begging for like someone to make it into like a movie.
Yeah,
I never did the Easter eggs myself. I was like watch YouTubers, and no YouTuber ever had like something that satisfied me with like them telling the entire story from the beginning of Nocturne Totem all the way through all of them. Yeah, so I would love a zombies movie that's like not just like fun like World War Z zombies movie, but like actually like the story of like Richtofen, these Nazi doctors, like I think the IP has a ton of legs.
I need to see Kino in live action.
Did you write down about the true Kino, man? Fuck yeah. Did you write down the Steven Spielberg stuff as well?
Yeah, that's it. That's next. Steven Spielberg apparently really wanted to direct a Call of Duty movie, but he wanted all of the creative rights to it. He wanted to release his own version. He wanted to release as his vision, and I guess Activision got spooked by that, wanting full control.
Getting spooked by Spielberg.
Crazy. Steven Spielberg, guys. Here's a take. Great director, like very good. Knows what he's doing.
Crazy.
Widely known director. Very good.
I just think I said this in the group chat. I think someone put it in the other day in the Discord, and I just said like, whatever happens with the film, the first film they release, it will be fucking terrible. Like there has not been a single good games movie adaptation, in my opinion. Resident Evil can maybe take it.
I feel like there was one recently that was pretty good.
You liked Mario, I think.
Yeah, Mario movie's good. The Mario
Okay,
movie's good. And the Mario movie's one I watch a lot with Bailey. And so like it's good enough for me to not want to turn off every single
But outside of that, but that's like the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and outside of that, it's like, fuck, you know, I don't know.
It's fair. I don't know how you do a Call of Duty movie without doing just a war movie, but I better see some zombies and better see something get pack-punched at some point. Like,
oh god, that'd be sick, dude.
Give me a pack-punch spray gun in a Call of Duty.
You know what? Do you remember Transit, the one with the bus?
Yeah.
You have to go. I'd like one of that, but there's like different areas, pack-punch. Get on the bus, someone gets left behind. That used to be the most like I remember when my friends would get on the bus and I would like have to get something and I wouldn't get on it, and it would be like the most exhilarating and scary feeling being stuck in a certain area until they came back around for ages.
Mark it down now.
Mark it
down now. I'm 100% certain in this movie we will see Rust and we will see Nuketown.
Sure. Nuketown. Well, that's like the map, isn't it?
Nuketown. And by the way, Nuketown is still a great map.
Still is.
I played in
It's such a great map.
In the recent. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah,
and they'll probably have like a
Nuketown
scene
2027 or something was like the new
2077. Yeah, and they'll probably have like a place in like do you remember Hijacked the boats?
Yep. Hijacked was awesome, dude. There was what was the map on the not like the busted boat, but it was
I know which one you mean.
Was that
Black Ops 3, right?
Black Ops 3.
No,
I really like that.
Was that Black Ops 3 or was that Modern Warfare 3?
No, it was Black Ops for sure.
I know which one you mean.
I think.
Yeah,
I'm nostalgic for High Rise and Terminal.
Yeah,
Terminal's. I used to play Terminal all the time. Terminal was crazy. Man, I'm getting all in my
man. We could do a full 2-hour podcast naming Call of Duty maps.
Naming Call of Duty maps. Yeah,
we'll do it before the new movie release. Instead of going through it, we'll just go through the game.
Incredible. Okay, moving on. Sophie Turner officially cast as Lara Croft in the Tomb Raider live action series. Sophie Turner always gets a lot of hate. For every performance like outside of Game of Thrones. I feel
what's she done outside of Game of Thrones?
Dark Phoenix, but that's not her fault that it sucks.
She did all of the X-Men as she was the Phoenix, yeah, and then she's also did she did the one that was like I have never done cocaine. I don't know what it looks like. That one.
Is that called Barely Lethal? This looks like a bad film. I
think it was like Do Revenge or something.
The one that came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Do Revenge.
We'll see. I like Sophie Turner. Hopefully it's good.
I mean, I like her in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, of course. Most people do. I think
put this next news in just for you, Cam.
Yeah, thank you. Bluey movie releasing August 6, 2027. Should be Bailey's first theater experience. He'll be about 5 then. But Emma's saying she thinks we can get him into the theater sooner. So we'll see.
Is there anything cool in your eye to say Bailey too sooner though?
That's like it could be any animated movie. I feel like any animated movie with music. I think
when does Shrek come out?
Shrek 5 is next year. No, Shrek 5 is 2027. Yeah, Shrek 5 is 2027. Because I did a most anticipated video. So we'll see. Oh, and then I can't believe you didn't put this in for me. Man of Tomorrow was announced for Superman. Possibly, most people say it's a Superman sequel, but James Gunn has been very adamant that he's not writing a Superman sequel. He's writing a movie that features Superman a lot. So I don't know if it's like a pure Lex Luthor movie with Superman in it, but we'll see. All of the cast is back. Rachel Brosnahan, Nicholas Hoult, David Cornsweet. Isabella Merced said she'd be back, I think. So, yeah, getting the gang back together for Man of Tomorrow. I think it's very clearly that Superman, it'll be like a Superman versus Lex until they have to fight like a bigger, badder Brainiac or something. We'll see. But I'm obviously excited. I love David Cornsweet's Superman, so we'll see.
I don't know. And also, the Superman movie just has a spell on me, man. Because I every time, the more I think about it, I like it a little less. But just something about this new universe, I'm still so pumped for. Every news, I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I can't wait to see Man of Tomorrow. I can't wait to see Supergirl. Excited.
I'm speaking of the universe, watch Peacemaker because episode 3 was very good. Episode
I really like
3,
season 1, so
is really good. Episode 1 and 2 are good, but not great. And then I think similar to Peacemaker season 1, it took a couple episodes for me to truly be invested. I think this episode 3 was the one that's gotten me invested. So hopefully the rest of the series is good. He still hasn't shown even his publicist episodes 6, 7, 8. I think they are they're very behind closed doors because he says they're massive. So I'm excited we're getting closer to that.
Sweet.
Unfortunately, competing with Thursday night football for me. I love Peacemaker with my whole heart, but like nothing will ever compete with a live football game, I feel like, or like just live sports in general. So maybe make it a Wednesday night release, James. Just change it up a little bit. But that's all the movie news. That's all the content we have for you today. Again, shout out to our executive producers, Stefan Johnson, Nicole Beaver. Could not do this without y'all. Appreciate everyone who subscribes to the Patreon, and everyone who subscribes to the YouTube. Thank you, everyone, for the support. Go follow us on social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, everything you can find. Comment, rate the podcast 5 stars. Thank you to everyone again. Really can't just say enough, like how awesome you all are and how appreciative we are for your support.
True.
This week, we will be reviewing Constantine. And then are we doing this collab ranking?
Yeah, we're about to film
without George? George?
Yeah, fuck George. He found out in the text. He knows.
We're doing a Denis Villeneuve and Christopher Nolan collab ranking.
Fun.
Yeah, without George feels crazy, but I'm excited. I also feel it's more fun. Like he can watch and
react to
critique
it,
to everything.
Mhm.
But we're about to do that. That will release Thursday for our Real Quick this week, and then Friday our Real Patreon episode will be Constantine. Next week we have The Long Walk. We will be back. I'm off next week. I am in Cincinnati all weekend, so apologies in advance, but just heads up, I'm not here next week. But love y'all. Great to see you. Thank you for joining the episode as always.
Peace.
Bye.